What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of Kanode Knows. Sorry for the interruption. I guess it's been a couple months. Had the Mediocre at Best 2 premiere, highlight of my life, a Europe trip for work, and I was delusional and thinking I could make the podcast happen while I was still over there. I might have if I was in a different headspace, I suppose. Came home, went through a breakup, went through the darkest period of my life about a month ago, and birthday was this week, and feels like we're bouncing back, but you gotta keep it level. So for this episode, there's no sponsors, and we have a phenomenal guest, Tyler Fernengel. I'm gonna read you the Grok summary of Tyler. There's no way if you're listening to this you don't know who he is, but just for fun. Tyler Fernengel, born April 3rd, 1996 in Detroit, Michigan, is a professional BMX rider renowned for his fearless style and innovative tricks. Initially a motocross racer from age 4, he switched to BMX at 12, quickly gaining attention for his talent. By 14, he secured his first sponsor, and at 16, he turned pro in 2012. His 2014 pro debut with Scariest BMX showcased his versatility across street, park, and dirt. Fernengel's career highlights include iconic video parts such as his 2015 Red Bull Silver Dome project, where he rode the abandoned stadium, gaining over 2.4 million YouTube views, and his 2016 Haro BMX video. Despite serious injuries, including a back surgery and a traumatic brain injury, he made remarkable comebacks, notably with his 2018 Demolition video. And then in this episode, he shows me the Sosh Urban Motion, which I remember watching, but watching it again, it's incredible to see him work with Rich Forn. He was on Haro, Vans, Red Bull, and now nobody. And it's one of the most interesting conversations I've had in a while. Him and I both share the affliction of being addicts and navigating that in life. That's not written down here, but that's good enough for that. I don't know. I'm grateful to have that conversation. Grateful he's doing well, and I think I speak for all of us when we're rooting for you. That's good enough for an intro. I think that's nice, short and sweet. Welcome back to Kanode Knows, the best BMX podcast in the world. Here's Tyler Fernengel.
Why is your name Kanode Knows? You don't know shit.
Kanode Knows.
Hi,
We're
Tyler.
good. Hi, Bobby.
I think this is actually the first time that we've used words to talk, right?
For sure. Other than, just DMing and texting.
Internet
Yeah.
friends. It's
Yeah.
funny because we're like one person away from each other for easily over a decade.
Who's that? Corey?
Yeah, Michigan, Corey, Nick.
Yeah.
The boys, the Michigan transplants that came out here, did it, and then came back and did the Michigan video. And then I've talked about you on a bunch of episodes, and
Yeah.
you're just part of that BMX family, dog.
Dude, it's insane. I was actually talking about this the other day in one of my YouTube videos. Like, because of social media, I have like friends that I've never met in person that I'm more close with as far as like the depth of our conversations and like the real life shit that we'll talk about. I'm closer with these people I've never physically met than majority of, other than a few people I have in my life, but most of the time, it's so weird. Like even Malcolm from Mended, you know who that is? Mended is like the underwear brand that I always post about. Like, he was he did Ethica before. That was his brand, and like I don't know if he sold his shares, whatever it is.
I learned about him this morning on
Clips. But people would assume that we have known each other for literal years now, but we have never met in person. But we text every day, we FaceTime all the time, we've done podcasts together, we work with Mended, like he's done a signature shirt with me, but like we've never even, like, it's just crazy. He's actually going to be out here in like 10 days, so we finally get to make that connection.
Yeah. It's like a weird time that we're alive. This magical fucking device that we can see each other through and talk. And the infinite friendships there.
It's amazing. There's obviously one side of me that I'm like, I so just like wish I could not be on my phone all day. Whatever. Everybody has that, but at the same time, it's the best because we can. I mean, look what we're doing right now. Years ago, we would have to be, you know, I would have had to fly to you or vice versa. And
Yep.
so it's cool. I'm doing this on my phone, by the way. I don't even have a setup. I
And it's
don't
fucking
need a
great, dude.
laptop, nothing. Quality's great. Like,
Yeah, it's actually incredible. These
Yeah.
magical devices, dude, they're gonna be the death of us. I
Mhm.
fantasize about just like dropping off, like, I don't know, keep a phone, I guess, but drop off social media, especially this past like depressed month. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry everybody, no podcasts until this one, but I feel like we're out of the valley of shallow. Well, I should say I'm climbing out.
That's
can't
all
say
you
I'm
can
out.
do. It's all
Yeah.
right. You can't have the highs without the lows.
So
You want-
when was your last valley of the shadow of death?
Well, yeah, and then I guess I can speak on that too. Like anybody who's tuning into this and doesn't know my uh past and my history, but yeah, I've had my issues with um well, I would say it all started with like head injuries. That's kind of where things started to get kind of weird for me.
Elaborate on that. What does a head injury do to you?
For me, well, it's crazy because I pretty much just smacked my head all the time my entire life, starting with I started racing motocross when I was 3 years old. And before I was even 10, 12 years old, I had been, you know, I'd been knocked unconscious countless times, ambulance, stretcher, but like I was a kid, it never affected me. And then even the early years in riding in BMX, like I think even crazier then than I am now, maybe. But like I would just hit my head all the time or bounce off the ground, and I thought it was kind of funny. Like part of me, and I thoroughly enjoyed like scaring my friends, like Corey, Nick, all those dudes. Like it, I got a freaking boner out of like watching my friends be scared for my life, which when that's you're addicted to that comes falling and hitting your head a lot.
Yeah.
But anyways, so basically what happened, I did that for years and years. And then it wasn't until like in my early 20s, I had like I randomly, I can't remember what it was, but I hit my head I don't know, like probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I started to just notice a difference. Like something was off. I started to, excuse me, I started to develop like weird anxiety, which I never had. Like my mom always talked about having anxiety growing up, and I didn't understand it. I'm like, Mom, you're tripping. Like you're
Yeah.
fine. You know, like that's normal. And then and then that like turned into like full blown panic attacks, and then like
Damn.
me not wanting to, you know, like I was avoiding places, avoiding certain people. It got so bad to where, so when I lived in Oregon, there was a point where I didn't drive a car for a year. I couldn't go in grocery stores or anywhere with big lights for that matter. So I wore sunglasses like 24/7, like
Huh.
even to watch TV. Like I just had like sensory overload. And so like bright lights, sounds, I wore earplugs a lot. Like, and I didn't really talk about any of this. That's obviously gotten a whole lot better. You know, it's been a lot of years and a lot of work, but yeah, it was scary and it was crazy. And then I ended up getting my brain scanned. I went to see like one of the best brain doctors in the world up in Seattle, and they ended up telling me like I was 25 at the time. And they were like, "Yeah, you have one of the worst 25-year-old brain scans we've seen, and we've done almost 200,000 scans."
Damn.
So on top of it being like from the head injuries, then I had like this weird, I couldn't drive because like the cars were moving too fast for like what my eyes were seeing. My brain couldn't process it quick
Huh.
enough. So it was like everything was kind of a blur. And so that's why I wasn't riding a lot. And so that would just make me even more anxious. It was just like this vicious cycle of everything piling on top of each other, having anxiety because you have anxiety type of thing.
Yeah.
And then
The spiral.
it's
I've seen it.
a wicked spiral. And then so that's back to the original point. That's kind of where the drinking started happening. Like I was never really much of a drinker, like, you know, for fun, simple session, whatever, normal stuff, go crazy with the boys. But like it's slowly turned into like I was dealing with this crazy anxiety. I realized, oh, if I have, a couple beers, it's still there, but I just don't really give a fuck because that buzz or whatever, and then like everything, I take it's all or nothing. And over time, those couple beers turn into, well, now I have this crazy tolerance. I can drink 12 to 24 beers in a day. And most, especially if you don't know me, you probably wouldn't even know that like I'm not
Yeah.
stumbling around drunk. It's just, I was keeping this like steady buzz all day, and then in starting to drink earlier and earlier in the day
Yeah.
because I wake up with anxiety and I just didn't want to feel it. So I'm not drinking for fun. I'm self-medicating entirely at that point, just simply to get out of my head so I can go through the day, do normal things, go to the grocery store, go be around certain people. So yeah, it's been a fucking tough pill to swallow, realizing like, oh shit, like I'm now a full-blown addict and it's taking over my life. I'm not riding, I've lost all my sponsors. I've made my mom cry, close people be super, just, even close riding friends witnessing me go from one of the top dudes and loving life. I've always been such a positive, happy, loving person to like just a shell of a human compared
Yeah.
to who I was. And it's fucking sad.
It's like
And
the lights are on, but nobody's back there type shit.
dude, 100%, like just going through the motions, just trying to get through the day to just get through the day to go to sleep,
Yeah.
basically, and that is so sad. So I keep getting, so I haven't got to like really talk deeply about this and openly in a while. So I'm getting a little off track, but
I'm here for it.
I've been doing good. I was doing good. It seems like for the last few years, it's like I'll go anywhere from 2 months to 9 months. I think that's the longest I've gone is 9 months sober since the first time I ever drank. But so anywhere in between there and I'll do great and you'll see it. I'm writing, putting out fucking crazy clips all the time. And then I'll just kind of like disappear. And it's very obvious to tell when I've fallen off.
Yeah.
And but this last time I got down here to Florida. I got here like about 3 months ago and just I I just started drinking again. And the other thing too is like anytime I've quote unquote relapsed is I think most people it's usually because something bad happens or something, you know, isn't going good in life. I'm the opposite. I'm doing
Everything's good.
good.
Yeah.
I'm doing great, dude. Like, what? The boys, let's have a beer. Let's have a beer, dude. I'm fine. I can do this. But like I told you earlier before we started this, I'm like 20 for 20 at that not being true.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. Maybe 20 years from now and my financial situation is great and I'm, continue at this rate where I'm at like mentally going in a good direction. Maybe I can grow up and have a beer, but maybe not. And I'm not counting on it. And I don't really care, honestly, because it doesn't do anything for me other than cause issues. I
Yeah.
was
For
literally
real.
this morning, I was surfing, talking to some dude. He was asking me about, he knows that I go to AA meetings. And I just was like, I can think back on every single thing, every bad thing in my life, every relationship, every shitty relationship I've been in that I stayed in, sponsors I've lost, like it all had alcohol was in there somewhere. And even if it wasn't me personally, maybe somebody else was drinking or, like maybe it wasn't I'm not like an angry drunk or anything, I don't cause problems like that, but like maybe it was I did something stupid and then I got hurt, which led to not going on a trip, which then led to people doubting me and my reliability, it all has something to do with alcohol. So
Bro, I hate
that's
how much I can relate to this shit.
that's why I just don't care. Like yes, it would be awesome to fucking cheers the boys and have a beer at the end
Yeah.
of the day, but whatever. I don't need it. I'm doing great. And like I can honestly say right now, uh I haven't felt this mentally clear and happy and just there's natural serotonin and dopamine flowing through my body and my brain. And like even all the times I've gotten sober in the past, I don't know what has clicked this time, but I just feel fucking great. Like
Good.
I physically, I feel strong, almost maybe the strongest I've ever been. Mentally, definitely the best in the last probably 8 years since I was in my early 20s. And in my riding, I just feel so good. Like even doing the simplest things, I feel so in tune with my bike, and I love when I have those moments. Like even yesterday, I was just cruising, and I was like, "This is it. This is why I put in the work." The last couple months, yes, I fucked up again, but like I have been grinding. I'm going to my meetings, working out, doing all the right things, and to have this mind body connection with this bike, this is why. And
Hell yeah, dude. You're gonna make me tear up. That's beautiful.
it feels so good. Like
Yeah.
I want to, I was saying the other day on my story, I was like, you ever just wake up and want to scream because you're actually genuinely happy, and there's not any reason. I didn't make $1 million, I didn't get some sponsor, nothing. It was just because the fact that I'm sitting outside, I'm sober, my mind is there, I got a coffee in my hand, and I'm up at 5 a.m. ready to just go make love with the day, if that makes
Hell
sense.
yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Fuck
My
yeah.
lows are still there, and there's gonna be 1 million more coming.
So what was the how long did this last one last? 45 days ago.
A week. That's
Good
the
for
other
you.
thing
Yeah.
too, is every time I have gone back to drinking, the time period has consistently gotten smaller and smaller. So who knows? I'm not gonna say I won't drink again. It might happen. I don't plan on it, but it might. So hopefully it'll turn into, maybe eventually it will get to that point where I relapse and it's just one beer.
Yeah.
Then I guess that would call me a normal, but we're not going to count on that one. So
You know what I learned about, actually, that's like people's brains react to alcohol differently, and some, like,
yeah,
the article or clip or whatever was talking about how people with this certain gene, like most people will drink
yes.
alcohol and it's a depressant and it kind of slows you down. But I have a beer and I'm like, let's fucking go, dude. And
Oh,
I'm
dude,
ready
100%.
to keep going. So like a glass of wine before bed just isn't a thing. That makes me want to have more and more and more.
I need at least a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Like,
and it is like, I think the more that it happens, because I'm pretty similar story as far as drinking was a big problem, and I had to cut it out for a long time. And then now I go through the same mental battle of like, I'm good, I could have one, and it's just not the case. And
yeah.
I kind of forget where I was going with that one. But
The gene.
it's acknowledging that I am that. I have to, like, especially when the peer pressure of just like, come on, bro, have a fucking beer like the rest of us. I'm
well,
like,
dude,
it's
glamorized, so it's a part of our culture. It's a glamorized thing in BMX, skate, moto, music, surf, whatever. I mean, not even that. Not even. It's just it's everywhere. It's in your face.
everywhere.
It's hard to find a place to eat food now that doesn't serve alcohol.
Yeah, facts.
Like it's almost like at my meeting, the guy was one of the dudes was talking about. He's like, I went to Cracker Barrel and they serve alcohol now. He's like, you can't even go. Like, it's crazy, but it is what it is. It's gotta. Know that you gotta look in the mirror and be like, okay, accept the fact, accept the reality. If you have a problem, and that doesn't mean alcohol or drugs, it could be anything: food, porn,
Sex, gambling,
relationships, addicted to toxic relationships, which I've had my fair share of that too. And you got to look in the mirror and realize that at the end of the day, it's all your choice, and no one's going to save you but you.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be like, I don't get sober because someone tells me to. It's honestly very rare that someone's like, oh, you need to stop drinking. Because I don't go around causing, like, I try not to go around causing problems with my drinking. It's a me thing. It's just hurting me. So anytime I sober up, I took myself to treatment a year ago and nobody told me to. I woke up and went that day. Just
fuck yeah.
So it's like, you just gotta, yeah,
yeah,
you get it.
keep on bouncing back. I do get it. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, fall down a million. It's just like riding. Like, I think that mentality of me being able to eat shit over and over and then get back up and keep trying, I take that into everything. And then especially with sobriety, like, it's okay to fuck up. You're going to. It's impossible to be perfect. It's impossible to I've done a 5 million bar spins probably in my life, and I still will. Weird if it happens, but I'll mess one up.
Weird.
It is. It's weird.
A
I can
little
do
weird.
I can do that with my eyes closed in many different forms, but yeah, it'll still happen. So you just keep trying, and
Yeah.
it'll get easier and better every time.
Talk to me about the cross country road bike shit, because that was cool. That was when we were talking about doing this prior.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forget, maybe December or January, but
Yeah, I was in Michigan still. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, people have been wanting to hear about that. There's really not much to it. Like, it was going good. I got down to Tony Nyer's place,
yeah, that was cool to
and
see
I
on the
stayed with
story.
him. It was supposed to be like a night, and I ended up staying for a week. That was amazing because honestly, we haven't really ever connected on that level, and it was super cool to stay with him and his family, and just, we got to ride a little bit, but
Yeah, but that's in like Cincinnati or
yeah, it was
what?
only into Cincinnati, so I
Bro,
only rode a
that's a
couple.
journey, no? How
I
far is it
mean,
from Michigan to
couple
Cincinnati?
100 miles, but it wasn't like I had planned. But anyway, so I had gotten there, and then I was um next up was like, mind you, this was still January, so like I was pedaling and I left from the Midwest. So when I left, there was like 3 inches of snow. I was
Yeah.
sleeping in a tent every night, and it was like in the single digits, teens, and then even like during the day, it was still pretty cold. But at the further I got south, the next thing was like going through the Appalachian Mountains, and I randomly went to this restaurant and started talking to these dudes who had pedaled. They're like cross country road cyclists.
Hmm.
And they were like, "You're fucking nuts, dude. Like, to do that right now, if you're gonna, when you get in Tennessee, like they're just like, you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna be pushing your bike up hills for days. You're gonna maybe do like, 20-30 miles max in a day." And they kind of like low key talked me out of it
They're like, here,
a
bud,
little
don't
bit.
do this.
They're like, at least get down to Georgia. So I ended up getting on a train, and that's what I did. And then I I was coming down to come see my dad, come stay with my dad, and I didn't at this point didn't know how long I was going to be here either. But then I had been talking to this girl who is now the girl that I'm still currently seeing.
Cool.
Had never met, but we had been talking for like 4 months, and she was coincidentally from Michigan. Didn't know that when we started talking, but lived down here. And she was just like, I want to see you. So I ended up getting down here and basically skipped my dad's house, went further south, all the way down to her house. I had started drinking before I even got there on the train. That's when I had
Yeah.
relapsed. Started drinking on the train because I had like 30 something hours on the train, and it was fun for sure. It was great. I met like 100 people on the train,
Hell
bouncing
yeah.
around cart to cart, hanging with people. But yeah, so I got down here, ended up staying with her, and then when I was leaving her place, it was just so hot down here. I wasn't sleeping in a tent anymore, and I was on my way to go back to my dad's. So I was gonna U-turn and come back north here to Daytona, and I slept outside of a gas station next to my bike. Didn't set up a tent, nothing, because normally I would put my bike lock and just put it around the pole of my tent. So
Yeah.
if someone tried to take it, they'd be taking me with it.
Yeah.
So I was literally just like sleeping like this, like up against a wall outside of a gas station with my bike, was knocked out, had some drinks the night before, like was sleeping outside of a gas station, went in there, bought fucking Twisted Teas,
Yeah.
fell asleep. Like I think I was watching Kill Tony on my phone and
Nice.
drinking Twisted Teas next to my bike.
That's a good time.
It was great, honestly, until I wake up in the morning, and about $3,000 to $4,000 worth of stuff is gone. Everything I have, other than thankfully I had my phone. I have a little like man purse that I was like using as a pillow. Had my phone, my passport, and that's it. And the clothes on me. So I went to bed, take my teeth out, put them in my toiletries bag on my bike.
Damn,
So
so now you're
woke up,
toothless and bike
teeth were gone, had just got new teeth again in Michigan because I had lost a pair as well in Michigan. Got them like the day before I left. So woke up, teeth were gone, wallet was gone. I had some cash was gone. Had just bought a brand new DJI like their version of a GoPro, spent 500 bucks on that. All the footage from the trip that I had filmed.
Damn.
All my clothes, shoes, everything you could think of gone, including the bike, obviously. And yeah, I was just like, fuck, what do I do? So, and I had posted a story of just like me and my bare feet laying there. It's like everything's gone. So that girl that I'm seeing, she ended up picking me up, and I stayed with her for a few more days. And then yeah, my dad came down, drove like 4 or 5 hour round trip to come save me. And yeah,
So
and that's
the trip went well.
okay. So, and here's the thing is like, I had this thoughts, you know, like I want to do the ride the whole way, but the whole point, my only goal, and I said this I was telling Flip at Albies this, I'm like, the whole goal is to get to Florida. I don't care how it happens. I'm getting to Florida and I'm leaving on this bike, and everything else in between, it's just an adventure. Like the whole point was to have this. I've been traveling my whole life, right? I've been going on all these crazy trips overseas, all these sponsors, you know, all these different, but like every trip, I know where I'm staying. I know what we're doing. I'm going to this hotel, this contest, this team, whatever. This was my first time leaving, and my only thing I knew is I'm leaving my mom's house and I'm ending at my dad's house, and I'm starting on this bike and whatever happens in between. So it's safe to say I got an adventure out of it. And that was the entire point. Yes, I didn't complete the whole 2,500 miles or whatever by bike, but I still made it.
Yeah.
And holy shit, was it a wild, unexpected, like just so many things happened.
That's a movie.
It was great, and it taught me a lot, and I ended up losing quite a bit of stuff, and like I banked on selling that bike and all the extra stuff when I got here for money, you know, and I didn't have any of that. I was down here for 2 months with no teeth. I just got these like a month ago, maybe. So it was like, it just was like everything that happens like that, all that shitty stuff is so good. And it is such a blessing at the same time, because it was slap me in the face again. I was like, stop fucking drinking, get on your BMX bike, ride your, you know, do what you're good at. I'm really not that good at many things. And riding it, you know, I have no shame in saying, like, not in an egotistical way, but like I'm really good at riding bikes, and I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And it saves my life time and time again. As much as it has ruined my life in some ways with the injuries and head injuries and stuff, it's still to this day, BMX saves my life, and I'm forever in debt to this sport and or industry, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. But
I'm curious about, because I heard you say on the, by the way, like, to hear the whole story, I think people should go listen to your Unclicked. Like you guys did a really good job of covering like all the sponsorships and beginnings and stuff.
Yeah.
Since I've been feeling it myself, and I really like what you just said, just do what you're good at. Because that's refreshing to hear, because I'm like, maybe, yeah, I should just keep doing what I'm good at. It does feel good, but I've been battling these feelings of like, I just want to move away from everything. I want to move away from BMX. I want to move away from making videos, move away from the podcast. And then I'm just sitting there in this empty void of misery, just like, fuck, but what is it? You know, waiting for something. So I'm curious about when you had your time period where you wanted to not do BMX, like what your train of thought was on all that.
That's a good question, because it's hard to say like the the truth, because my mind was so clouded in that time, because now, you know, with a clear mind and a sober mind and a healthy body, like there's nothing else I'd rather do with my life. I
Yeah.
think that was a bit of denial because of the rut that I was in. Not even just the BMX rut, but just other things in life that had put me down, whether that was relationships, family, injuries, addiction, whatever. I
Yep.
just was like, there's no clear train of thought. So my first instinct, which I think a lot of people will go through this or have in whatever industry they're in, is one, you will like play the blame game, which I had a period there where I was salty with BMX, which, like I said 5 seconds ago, I'm forever in debt to BMX. It's not the opposite. BMX doesn't owe me anything. But there was a time where I was like, you know, I got dropped in one night. I lost like over $60,000. You know,
Phew.
when I got dropped by Red Bull,
Yeah.
and then next came Vans or Haro, and then Vans, and you know, my whole life as far as financials got stripped of me. That was 6 figures just gone to basically nothing. And then,
I
so
can't
yes,
imagine that feeling.
there's some salty feelings in there, but like I said a few minutes ago, no one's going to save you, and no one caused these issues other than yourself. And whether they were directly or indirectly, it's still your fault
Yeah.
just by being Tyler. Like I can't blame anyone. And so yeah, like I don't know where I was going with that, but
Well,
like, yeah,
yeah,
I
because then
was
you're like, "What do
salty,
you like?"
and I
Was
just
there
had,
any other direction that you found that
yeah,
you were like,
okay.
"Okay, no BMX, but I'll do this"?
I've tried. Like, I mean, I was in, so I was in Oregon actually, and I was up there due to relationship stuff, followed that up there, some family, personal stuff that I don't want to get into, but I was like, it's winter there. That's when I was going through the gnarliest of the head injury stuff. I needed money. I wasn't riding, so I got this job. Actually, my first and only job I've ever had, other than being a professional bike rider. I worked at this CBD factory, so it's basically just like packaging and shipping out CBD across the country, like nugs, basically weed. But uh, I was making like okay money, normal, whatever, but like 9 to 5 every day. And my buddy Josh called me, and he basically was like, yo, like, what are you doing up there? Like, come back. Your home is in Southern California. Like, you need to be in the sun. I know what you're doing. You're working this shit job you hate. You're not riding. You're probably going from work straight to the bar. Am I correct? I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? Because I hate it here and I hate my life, and I have had no friends. Where I was living too, I was down in Medford. I didn't know. I lived with 3 people I didn't know, had never met, and we all worked at the same place.
Huh.
It was terrible. Like,
Yeah.
great people. Not if they watch this, because I am friends with them. Great people, but it was just not for me. So he basically, I can thank Josh for this. Was kind of the beginning of the turnaround for me coming back into BMX. And this was 2023, middle of 2023, I think. Or maybe even 22 now. I don't know. A couple years ago, but he was like, "What do you make?" I told him, he's like, "I'll double it. Get in your car, quit your job, get in your car, pack your shit, and drive to LA.
Hell
And
yeah.
you're coming to live with me." So this wasn't an ideal situation either, because I'm staying in. Went down there to do went from the CBD thing to the weed thing,
Okay. So
and
that's why
that's so
he was doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he was doing, and it was legal, but there's a gray area like there is with everything with weed. But
Yep.
it was cool. You know, I doubled my money, but I was in this environment that I was personally not comfortable with. Like, I was living in this crazy like $8,000 a month apartment downtown LA on like the 35th floor. Cool, right? Yeah, that's awesome. But honestly, like, I started to feel myself putting on this weird like front almost, because I'm surrounded by like, where like it's like rappers coming through all the time. Like, that's not my shit. It was just weird. Everyone's got a gun on them and stuff, and I'm like, what is this?
Where
So
am I? How did I get
where
here?
am I? How did I end up here? But that's just another part of like my life is like a continuous just holy shit. Now I'm here.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this. This is crazy. But I ended up so that's the only time period where I've been like when I did first get down there, I was drinking too. But then my boss, Josh, he was like, I'm not having this shit. Like because I'd oversleep. I need to be there to open up the shop. He's like, if I'm paying you, you're gonna be this is still a job.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be here. So I stopped drinking and then I just started to think, this is not me, dude. This is not my fucking life. I don't like this. I don't like these people I'm around. I don't want to be downtown LA. How do I get back to San Diego and like be around my people? I need to be around Dennis and Chad and my old teammates. Those are my
Boys.
brothers.
Yeah.
So that's when I actually I ended up I actually don't even know if I should say it. I ended up trading, I won't drop a name, but I ended up trading a pound of weed for a bike. You might know who it is, but
Okay.
I ended up trading for somebody's old bike, and that's how I got back. So I just started riding like just around downtown LA, and then I started. I don't know if you remember, you saw some clips of me like jumping over a red Porsche,
Yeah.
and so that was Josh's car, and so that's what I started doing. I was like slowly, I'm like, hey, dude, like I need to like make content. This is what I'm good at. I want to go out and film. So he started letting me do like half days in the shop. And then the other half, as long as I was being productive, tagging his brand, he would let me go.
Sick.
It was cool. So I was still getting paid pretty good money. And that's how the riding got back. And then,
Damn, shout out Josh, dude.
yeah,
That's
Josh
big
is the
homie.
man. And
That's
then
big.
I ended up renting. I moved out of. We had a spot that he was paying for the whole thing, fucking boss. But I ended up. His girlfriend had an apartment in Long Beach that I ended up renting out from them. Gave me a super good deal, and then that's when I started riding with Dan and Grant, and I was in that little scene for a bit, hanging out with Nate Richter, and that's when I started pumping out real clips again. When I was riding that little prefab park all the time, and then I started riding like Long Beach spots, and that's pretty much been it. That's like how I got really back into it, and uh like I said, there's been those moments where I've been, what am I doing? What do I want to do other than BMX? I never figured it out. There's your long story to get your final answer, but I
Yeah.
never figured it out. But I will say that I have figured it out in this way. Like I don't necessarily care to go down the traditional route anymore because like let's be honest, I did that to like I feel like almost maybe the highest extent you
Yeah.
can in our industry. I
Yep.
rode for Red Bull Vans. I had made I think I'm probably in the 1% of made, good
You
money
did
as
it.
far as bike
Yeah.
riders go. I did it. I've gone all over the world and it did get to a point where I was like at the end, even before losing sponsors, like I was wanting to turn down trips. I turned down a trip to Japan. Like I was just a bit over like saturated with BMX and just wanted to chill at home.
Yeah.
Obviously now, if anybody wants to send me on a trip and I'll go jump down 100 stairs for you and no, not.
With
But
the
you know what I'm saying?
video.
Like I'm down, dude. Like I'm more addicted to riding my bike than I ever have. So
That's great to hear. So one thing
yeah.
I've been thinking about and talking to people about is like, what's the best feeling on the BMX bike? Like, you can do all the tricks. What trick feels the best in your opinion?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I actually covered this a little bit the other day in one of my YouTube videos. Oh yeah, because I did a Q&A on YouTube and I said, I think bar spin, I just have to say bar spins simply because they're like, I love them so much and you can do them in and out of things and spinning and upside down and it's always been so fun to me because I was obsessed with Garrett and Dennis and I just wanted to do everything they did. But so I'd say that's the best feeling as far as like, because I can just if I had to just only do one trick forever, it'd probably be that.
Huh? Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
I
kind of
could
like
go a million ways
quintessential
with it.
BMX trick too. Like if you talk to my mom about BMX tricks,
She
she'll be
knows
like,
what a
"Bar
bar spin
flipping."
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But man, I also said a good I do toboggans a lot. That's just like you can freaking tweak that shit so hard. And then I also said no handers, like no handers on a quarter pipe, like a big quarter that you can blast, or like a 3 no hander over a spine.
Well, there's a couple of things I've never felt, but I could imagine that's got
But
to feel
I'd
pretty
say
good.
no handers. Honestly, that's always been a like even since I was young, like no handers on quarters and 3 no handers. There's just something freeing about having your hands off
Yeah.
the bike and you can hold it as long as possible and try and get that Larry Edgar till the last second.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a hard question because are we talking streets? Are we talking about riding a dirt jump? I love
Exactly. Yeah.
doing Superman C, Indian airs, and then like yeah, that's such a broad hard tough one.
My
But
answer was like just roasting. Like I look at, Chase Hawk hitting a dirt jump as high as he can and just doing a little
yeah.
kick out. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
gotta feel fucking good.
See, and then I could answer with that too. I love having weird quarters, not like a perfect transition, maybe one that's like kind of like this, that's got a little like where you can roast and it sends you all weird and you get that crazy like over rotated pull out type of thing where you're riding the edge of over rotating and completely eating shit, but also like
Right
it
away.
looks sick and you blow your back tire out and like that
Yeah.
feels amazing. Like riding that makes me think of riding the what's Trevor Sicklock's ditch
Bike
jam bike side. Yeah, they have some quarters there. I went to that jam and like that's the perfect to me. Just some
Perfect sketchy quarter.
sketchy quarters that you're so loose on it, but it feels so good. So
Yeah.
probably something like that, honestly.
Hell yeah. How do you feel riding now versus at your peak, peak craziness, the fucking, I don't know, the Detroit stadium versus now?
Dude, so that's a good question as well. Cause lately I've been writing notes down. I've been getting better at like writing notes because I'm doing the YouTube thing and a big part of it is not just writing. I like talking about certain topics.
Mm-hmm.
And I was writing down lately I've just been feeling this. It's gonna sound like so corny to say, but I'm gonna say it. I've just been feeling so fearless.
Hell yeah.
And like I've always been that type of rider, but this is just my brain getting so deep into it. I'm convinced the more happy I am in life and more like confident I am in areas outside of BMX, the more like I feel more fearless and confident on my bike. And they go so hand in hand, and I've been noticing that way more as an adult. And I
That's
think
interesting.
it's weird. I was thinking about this in just sitting on my board the other day in the ocean. Like I'm questioning stuff so much less. Not that I've ever had an issue. I've always had this switch. Like I can turn a switch off. I really feel like it's a switch, and I
I
learned
call
that
it the
very
switch
young.
too, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I can just flip it off and like I don't give a fuck. Like I know
I
that
don't have that switch, but
I
I noticed.
might die. Like and I'm confident in knowing that I might die, but there's something about it that I'm also I know my capabilities and I'm getting even better now to this day, even better at not questioning my level of like this is possible. I can do this. I know that without even test run, nothing. I know how far I can. It's how fast I gotta go to jump that. I know, like it don't even. It's
That's
a
sick.
really weird thing, but it's been cool because it's been clicking more lately. Like, oh yeah, I do have this. I've been back to like I don't have many skills, but this is like one that I'm really good at, and I'm more aware of it now than ever, and it's making me a better bike rider. I'm more confident. I'm also a lot stronger than I was when I was 18. Even, from 16 to like 22, I still was like, I was a little guy. I don't know if you remember
Dennis said it
even.
best. You were a gravity rider, gravity assisted
Yes,
rider. Yeah.
perfect, exactly. But now, like, even in like the last 2 years, I've gotten stronger. I'm more just like a solid of a man, I would say. And
Yeah.
like I know I can do just hop, and I can kind of power through things easier. And so I think that's helped a lot. And that gives me more confidence. I can just think of something, and like a lot of times without even there's no trying it, I just can do it. And
Yeah.
that's a freaking awesome feeling.
Let's
So
contrast that with like, because you're saying you get fearless when life's good and you're happy, but what about when life isn't good?
yeah.
When were you least fearless? That's a weird way to phrase it, I think, but when were you most fearful?
Um yeah, definitely just like when I'm not in a good headspace. Hey, that's why am I drinking at the end? Like I told you earlier, it was self-medicating. That's a that's a fear. I'm drinking out of because I'm fearing everyday life. I have anxiety. So of course if I'm in that state of mind, like I'm not even you won't see me on my bike because I'm just like I don't know. It's really weird too. This still on the same topic, but I'm so fearless in so many aspects when it comes to like being on my bike or like motorcycles and skating, so whatever it may be. But like I have trouble. I get the worst anxiety even at these AA meetings trying to speak in front of my home group, which is only 8 to 10 people. I feel like I'm borderline panic attack when I just want to talk about a
Even
normal
still?
thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, like I still get this more, let's just say, more anxious than I would to
Send it off a roof.
jump off a roof for the first time or hit a gap that I've never done. Like
Yeah.
it's really, really weird to have those two sides, the same brain and the same fearless, completely no care for your own well-being side of your brain, and then also scared to talk in front of 5 people
Yeah.
and having this lack of confidence there. And just so I this brings me back to what I wrote down. They go so hand in hand because the more confident I get in normal life, the more confident I can be on my bike, and vice versa. Me being like really good at standing over a drop or a rail or whatever and being like, hell yeah. I don't even think and turn around. I can like remember those moments in the everyday life and be like, dude, I was able to not even think twice, turn around and just handle that shit. Same thing here, dude. Tyler, just handle it. You're fine.
Nice.
Just
Yeah.
handle it. And it's been a really cool realization to just make them, complement each other.
Fuck yeah.
So
That's great to hear.
yeah, it's
Um, well,
lots of as an adult, there's a lot more in-depth thinking, as you can
yeah.
tell. Like I think about things to its core and not just like go with the flow. Like I do just go with the flow, but I could really like nitpick and decipher, like, because I'm trying to figure out why did I ever get to that crazy state of mind where I don't, like I'm losing
Yeah.
it, I'm drinking, like, so now I'm trying to really get to the core of why am I making this decision? Why am I okay with this? Why do I do,
Yeah.
it's a really
What's
good
that
thing.
quote? The life not examined is not worth living. I think.
I haven't heard that, but that sounds
Life
about right.
examined, not. Yeah.
I'm
Life
definitely
without. Socrates said it. The unexamined life is not worth living. So it's just like NPCs going about and just not really
Yeah,
trying to think deeply about everything that's going on. It's not worth living.
dude. Back to the fear thing real quick. So this is something that I used to do. I only a few people know this because it sounds really stupid to even say, but I caught myself doing this for the first time in probably, I don't know, since whatever last nice fast car I had. But I used to do this thing where I would like it would typically be a late at night thing, but I would drive on the freeway and see, I would count in my head how many seconds, like with my eyes closed, and I would always try and beat the goal.
Wow.
And
What's your record, bro?
I'm I don't know why, but so it happened the other day on the way back from a meeting. I just have a moped right now, and I was
Hell yeah.
riding over the bridge, and I caught myself doing it, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't done that in like 10 years. What the hell? I was like, what the hell are you doing? That is so dumb. But I think I got up to like 17 seconds or
Holy
something
shit!
before. But
17
dude,
It's crazy.
next time, I'm not encouraging anyone to do this, but maybe do 3 seconds with your eyes closed on the freeway. It feels like a fucking eternity.
Yeah, it does.
It's like
I've done it.
1, 2, 3, because so many things can happen like that quickly.
Yeah.
Like I did it for probably like 2 or 3 seconds on the moped, and I was like, oh my God, you are so dumb. The fact that you used to do that at 2 a.m, driving 100+ miles an hour.
For 17 seconds is
I think it was
actually
something
crazy.
like that, because I would always try and get to 10 seconds or more.
Yeah.
Oh God, I definitely
And then you just said to the people listening, try it. No,
yeah,
don't.
no, don't. But if you ever, I don't condone it, but it is pretty crazy how long 3 seconds is at going 70 miles an hour.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Go on the freeway and close your eyes for 20 seconds. There's
Yeah,
nothing like it.
see what happens. Yeah, I definitely have a weird I get high off of scaring myself. I get high off of that. Maybe that's that addict brain and addict mentality.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
like I was saying, I enjoyed scaring my friends.
Yep.
Something about feeling my heart racing because I'm choosing to have it. Maybe that's what it is. I have control over, because I deal with such anxiety in normal situations. With the riding and the car thing, and that's me choosing to have anxiety. So it's like it feels good because I'm controlling it. Okay,
Exactly.
I just did that, and
Yeah.
then I'm
Taking
high.
control. And then
It's better than sex to
whatever
me.
chemical gets released is a great feeling.
I've been saying that for years. Like, dude, the high off of scaring myself or coming this close to death is better than any drug, better than any sex I've ever had. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I think that's very common amongst the people who like sending it in BMX. So
For
you
sure.
like talk about crazy shit. I'd say I'm talking to somebody who's done some of the wildest shit that I've ever seen. What sticks out to you when you think about that high that you get? I heard you talking about the roof drop to rail and how blind it was, and just go straight, bro, to the left of the pebble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Detroit Stadium, the drop in. What's been the highest high for you on your bike?
Yeah, I mean, the stadium thing was crazy because there was other reasons why that was crazy, mostly because it was like the people had never filmed BMX, and it was like quiet on set. Tyler, you ready? Action. Like, no, I'm used to having dudes there, like, you fucking got this, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, and the other thing too is like I couldn't really take run-ups. If you ride bikes, you run up, fuck, yell, get ready. It was like I had to wait, make sure all 4 angles of the camera ready. They have walkie-talkies, like, so to like hype, to make yourself get hyped up to do still what might be the scariest, craziest thing I've ever done. That was a challenge for sure. And I remember telling myself, or even saying out loud, I think maybe to Corey or my dad, like, this isn't BMX to me. Like,
yeah, that was
obviously in the end, this is one of the greatest accomplishments I had, but it didn't feel like BMX to me. I didn't like it in the time.
You were a stuntman in a movie production, basically.
Yeah. Those guys, I'm pretty sure at least part of the crew, they were on the Transformers movies.
Wow.
So like it was,
yeah.
And I knew the budget behind it, and I knew we had a time frame, and it was just so not what I'm used to. I'm used to having Christian Regal there, telling me you got this.
Yeah.
Not some dude who's, I've never met. But back to your original question, it would be that the truck out of that, obviously the roof to rail that I did for Market when I was like 19 or something. That was like scary because I think at that time nobody had ever really done, other than who is it? It wasn't Harrington. It was in a props. There was like a low like roof to like mellow rail. Is it Chet or
Chet Blacksmith, Dave Thompson, Chet Blacksmith, Chet seems right.
Blacksmith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
sounds
think
right.
it was him. But anyways, yeah, probably that. That one was a head game for sure because it was just blind and I never seen anybody do it. And then I was getting a flat, so that's what made me end up going for it. I was like, I'm not getting off this roof to change my tire unless it's
Yeah.
me on the bike. And then
Was it first try? First time you rolled off, it worked out?
yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Um
Who filmed that? Christian?
Christian, yeah. It was like that was the whole crew. It was like me, Christian, Dennis, Connor, Chris Martinez. I think Chad might have even been there. Mike Gray was there. That was a banger day. Like I think like the last 3 or 4 clips of that market part were all filmed in the same day.
That's dope.
I had
Banger
all
sequence.
my bangers set. Like one of these might take me out, so let's just try and get them all back to back to back in the same day. And we just bounced around San
And it
Diego.
worked?
Actually, the roof derail was the only one that wasn't planned. Like I didn't even know that was there. We went to just ride the rail, and I was like, that might be possible. And
Phew.
so yeah, that all worked
What a
that
trip.
day.
You know how many kids would be fucking just to be a fly on the wall for that session would be so sick. So I got 2 questions that made me think of is just because Christian cheering you on has got to feel good, and you filmed with a bunch of different filmers.
Mhm.
Who do you think of when I say supportive filmer that's like hyping you up? Who's the best person to film with so far? That's gonna be hard because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, but
I don't fuck your feelings. I'm just kidding. No, I love filming with everybody. I've never had any sort of like, oh, like we're not vibing. Dude, I filmed a full video with Kyle Carlson. Like, you know, like that's one of my favorite videos in the
Dude, I love
Vegas
Kyle.
Osiris video, and that was with Kyle Carlson. So
Yeah.
but probably Christian, just because that's who I filmed with the most. And like I think it makes the most sense to say his name because Christian, in a weird way, we do have a similar style.
Yeah.
As far as riding, like he goes fucking fast. He likes weird, interesting setups. Bit, you know, and he's an very well-rounded, established rider who like if he's confident in me, like, you know, because sometimes you need that.
It feels different than somebody who never does it. Like
The
Kyle.
boys
Kyle's like,
will
"You got
be,
this."
yeah,
Kyle's
like Kyle's just like, hell yeah, dude. Like, I'd love to film this.
yeah.
Like the boy, I've had Dennis, you know, tell me like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's worth it. And Dennis is the most confident human being in the world. So you need those people to like kind of reassure you in your own abilities. So Christian's always been nice to have because if he thinks I can do it, okay, you know, he's right there. You fucking got this. Let's go, dude. Right here.
Yep.
That he helps with that mental battle. But then, you know, growing up, I filmed with Alex Burnside and Corey and Nick. They all handed the camera around. So those are the OG boys. Corey's great to film with because I like Corey's attitude. He's just like, this is fucking crazy, dude. Like, you're nuts. Like, but yes, let's go.
Yeah.
And he's confident in me. So I love filming with Corey. I
love
filmed
Corey.
he's a great.
I think I love
He
him
could be a
extra
whole
more because
section.
I truly didn't like him at a certain point when he was in Arizona. I was like, "You're fucking annoying and too hungry."
Nobody likes him for like Corey. If you see this, he knows it, and he's openly public about it. But like Corey is a special human. But when you finally know Corey, you're like, oh, that's just Corey. That's why he's
sweet,
Corey
sweet
and why
Corey,
you
dude.
love him. That's
I
why you
love
love him. That's why
Yeah.
you love him and hate him.
Yep.
But like,
Exactly.
yeah,
You
Corey's
can't
the
not
best.
feel anything about him. That's for sure.
He will, yeah, he's definitely gonna make you feel some type of way. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way.
Shout out Corey, dude. We
For
love
sure. But I did get to film with Rich Forn once. I filmed that we did that Sosh filmed on iPhones in Paris.
What?
Ended up, yeah, you've never seen that?
No.
We won. Yeah, I won that one.
I swear once I see it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember
sick
this.
brag. It might be hard to find. I don't know if they ever posted them each. There's a whole like 30-minute where every part goes in, but that was back in probably 2019, 18.
Oh, this video is private.
It's
Dang
in
it.
black and white.
Yeah,
Are you on YouTube?
So you could see, yeah.
Oh, you know what? If you go on my Instagram, I screen recorded it and posted the whole thing.
Yeah, look at that. That's bullshit. It's private. All right, we'll go. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right,
Go
we'll
to my
there.
Instagram and scroll down. It's been in the last I think 6 months. I found it and it was like, ooh, I want to post this. It's in black and white too, so might be a ways away. I've been on a posting rampage.
How does it feel being Instagram famous?
It helps with the ladies, that's for sure.
Yeah, I bet. A little bit of clout, dude.
I can't even lie, dude. Do you know how many times
They pull out their phones, they're like, oh.
it's unfortunate and it's actually pretty lame to say, but like I said, I'm an open book. It
I
is
get
what
a
it
little
is.
bit of it.
I've used it to my advantage for sure.
Yeah.
Wait, go back up. I wasn't even paying attention, so you might have.
No, yeah, I saw one black and white, but it was like a carousel, so I don't think it was it. Might have been it. We'll get there.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Right
To the
where?
right. This oh, you can't see. The right there. That's
Boom.
it. Yeah.
Is the music cleared?
Yeah. It was a street performer.
Cool.
Dude, this is a proof that all you need is an iPhone.
Yeah.
And even the music was recorded. It's unreal.
You
Rich
just have
is
to know, like, Rich is brilliant. That's all you need.
he is an artist, that's for sure.
It's not like, where's the fancy camera? Oh my god.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things too. We did this in like a couple days.
Two masters at work, dude. Holy shit. Ooh.
I haven't seen this in a while. It's cool to watch.
Ooh, no hop. Beautiful. Far out. I remember that clip, actually. Whoa, got the fish spread out. This was filmed in a week?
What's that?
How long did it take to film?
It was that was an ABD too. I can't remember who filmed that for Sosh like a few years before, but yeah, this was a week or a couple days. That one was hard, dude. That was one of the harder clips.
Whew. Whoa.
That's a one and only I've ever done. Never done another bar to X on the street.
Yep.
This one was, I wanted to do something else on there, but we were like, we'll take that. It was just very cool looking.
Yeah.
It was scary, actually.
Okay. Don't play that shit. What was the other thing you wanted to do?
I think I was gonna do like tires or something, and then the rail is actually a lot higher than I was used to, and I don't do I don't typically do tires from the side, and it was way too high to go straight on.
Yeah.
So I just settled for feeble. I think I was gonna maybe do feeble bar to firecracker, but I got a couple flats from the stairs, I think, if I remember correct. But yeah, that was super fun. And that was amazing to film, not only film with him, but we were going out, getting wasted, drinking wine and eating bread.
He's a mysterious man. He'll never do this podcast.
Oh my God. He's such an
good.
interesting human. He literally lived off wine and bread for the whole week we were there.
Nice.
It was cool. We had a lot of fun, a lot of good laughs. We had just a good bond, a good connection for sure. Because we had never really met. I don't even remember how we connected. Oh, I think maybe he reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you want to be the rider for this?" So But
Fuck
either
yeah.
way, that would be a dream of mine. And there was talks after that because we had such a fun time to film something, whether it was for Vans. But I would still love that, Rich. If you ever see this, maybe someday
Yeah.
when I've got the funds to do it out of my own pocket, I can get you on a trip or something. So
Fucking A. I'm pretty sure I heard that he lives off Mallorca in Spain. You know?
that's I'm not sure, but that would sounds about him.
Yeah.
I've been to Majorca too. I actually went there after Battle of Hastings, and this is one thing. So I said this the other day too. I was like, I don't know if there's any time I've ever been drunk and made a decision that I was happy with. I was wasted the last night of, or no, it wasn't. Why did I say Hastings? This was Malaga, Spain, Vans Pro Cup. Absolutely hammered with Pat Casey and his wife. And rest in peace to my fucking
peace.
brother. And they were like, "We're flying to Mallorca tomorrow." I'm like, "Hell yeah, me too." Had no flight. I'm like, "What's Mallorca? I don't even know." And Pat's like, "Do it, do it." We got an Airbnb, so I drunkenly bought a flight to Mallorca right there on the spot in the bar, and stayed up the entire night. Flew to Mallorca and then stayed with them for a week. And it now, like I said, in hindsight, I want to be home. I want to be on a flight going home, not another week in a place. And because we didn't ride or anything, it was just a straight vacation thing. And
It's fucking
yeah,
beautiful.
but now, like, looking back, that was one of the last, like, one-on-one time, like, like just straight
Yeah.
up me and Pat, like I lived with him and Chase for like quite a few months when I was really young. But yeah, that was a good drunken decision for sure.
Fuck yeah. Where'd you go? Palma?
I couldn't tell you. It was
Yeah.
They had it booked for months in advance, and I don't even know if they actually, maybe they regretted it too. And the next day, because they were drunk as well, and they were like, "Yeah, come."
Hell yeah.
Probably like I called them on their bluff. I was like, "Bet."
Dude. Watch this.
Yeah,
Tickets
booked. It
secured.
was like way overpriced buying it. It's 8
But-
hours before the flight.
Yeah, that's probably true. I was just gonna say, like, everywhere in Europe, now that I'm a European traveler, I got to go there like a month ago. But if like they were talking about it, where you can just be living in Spain, but then you want to take a weekend trip to Paris, and it's like an hour flight, and it's $100. It's like, what?
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a pretty.
That's
cool
what's
way
so
to-
cool about living in Europe, which I would love to maybe at some point, is because you can just drive to so many different countries,
Yeah.
or train or cheap flights. Like, we're
It's
kind of
funny,
limited
the
to.
attitude, the attitude over there is like, oh no, that's really far, and then we're so used to driving everywhere because
Hold on, you cut out. I lost you. Uh
we're in the States. We're like a 6 hour. I keep losing, and we're back. I think it was my internet. So
cool.
sorry for technical interruptions, everybody. All 1,000 of you fucking listeners, I miss you guys.
Huh.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I'm so happy we're doing this. It's good.
Me too. I was just thinking as I went to the bathroom, I was like, this is going great. I love this.
Facts.
And that's another thing too. I was gonna say, sorry, I've procrastinated or pushed it off, but like, it's a big thing for me. Is like, I need to be in a good mental space, and I'm sure you feel the same. Like, that's why you haven't been doing certain things as much. It's just like, I want to be able to be as clear-minded and like positive as not positive. I can't stand like toxic positivity, like
Yeah,
trying
that's a real
to
thing.
be like overly happy when I'm not really. But I just mean like, have a clear headspace and like be able to be my true authentic self. Because when I'm in those weird states of mind, or if I was in a period where I'm drinking, like it ain't gonna be me. And my thoughts will be clouded, and like it was just, so it all worked out. I'm glad. For some reason, I just saw your birthday post, and I was like, hey, what about that podcast? Let's do it.
Fuck yeah. Man, the birthday shit was wild. Waking up, and then I shared my birthday with a buddy, Ditch Frank, and I saw his story post, and I was like, it's such a weird thought. like I said, it's cringe that I even had the thought, but I was just like, I hope people say happy birthday to me. And then the
Hey,
amount
man.
of fucking the amount of love was so refreshing. As I needed it,
It's
whatever.
the little things for sure.
Yep. And then on that note of just being toxic positivity is terrible, and
Mhm.
the goal isn't to be happy all the time; it's to be at peace, whether you're like sad or happy. It's just peace.
Dude, you hit it right on the head. I've been working on that lately. Is like, I don't want to be way too happy and way too sad, because when you just get too extreme with the other, you're either going to be super let down when all of a sudden that insane high goes away and you're just so freaking stoked on everything.
Yeah.
You're either going to be sad, or you're going to feel like you were in this impossible rut that you can never get out of. So just, I say, take the high highs and the low lows with a grain of salt, and just like be kind to yourself. Like,
Yep.
it is what it is, dude. Like, life's going to suck a
I
lot,
think
and it's going to be great as well.
we all have relationships like that too. That shit applies to everything, whether it's work or BMX or relationships. Like
Mhm.
the relationships that are like this are the toxic, addicting ones, and then the stable ones. I'm learning through just doing the work. When people say do the work on yourself, I'm like, what do you mean? You want me to think about how I am? But I'm figuring out like I've been magnetized towards the toxic ones.
Yeah,
And
well, they're fun, dude.
yeah, so fun.
Because the high highs are
Feel alive.
fucking so fun,
Yeah.
and then the lows are like, you remember the highs, so you're like, oh, I need that again, and
Yeah.
you're willing to go through this terrible relationship just to maybe get another week
Yep.
of that high with that person, and when really it's just setting you back in time and in your personal growth. Like, I'm so, like, I am seeing somebody right now, but like, I'm pretty much still, this is the first time in a very long time where I'm focused on me and I'm being selfish with that. And she knows that too. Well, because even when I first got down here, I was like drinking, and she, she sees the light in me. She knew I'm good, but like, she's like, you got to focus on you. And like, it's funny because now that I'm so focused on me, she's kind of like, hey, we're,
Hey,
like,
remember me?
now I'm not talking to her from the moment I wake up till the moment I go to bed, because I just like, I want to do me. Like, I'm grinding my ass off right now. Like, I just started the YouTube channel, and
Yeah.
I'm going hard on that. I'm trying to,
How's that been? What's been the
it's
learning lesson so far?
I love it, and I really hope that if I stick with it, I can eventually, turn it into like a way to make some decent money. I mean, I'm only 3 weeks in, and I just got monetized.
Yeah, I saw your numbers, dude. You're doing good. It's pretty great.
I'm pretty hyped. So, but I'm loving it because, like I said earlier, I've done the traditional route in BMX, and this is cool because this is all me.
Yep.
If I don't show up, no one's disappointed. Okay, maybe, viewers, whatever, they're expecting a video, but it's not like, okay, I got hurt. Well, maybe this injury is actually going to get me more views, or, now I have a week to go down a different avenue for videos, or a couple weeks or whatever. But before, if I got hurt, okay, now I'm missing a contest, or I can't go on this trip to Mexico, and now Harlow's pissed at me or bummed, and they're paying for my life, and it's nice to know that when I can make this work for myself, it's just me and me only.
Yeah,
And
and then
I'm
you
not
have control.
I have control. I'm not disappointing anybody. And I have, so it's been great. And I really I like being alone a lot too. I like thinking, and I enjoy riding alone as well. So it's cool, just me and my tripod. And like I said, a huge part of my channel is like talking a lot. So it's almost like it's like this feels like therapy to me in a way.
Yeah.
Just having like you and I have a good connection as far as talking. It's easy and it flows. I can do that with myself in a way. And so I can pick a topic to talk about, and I just go off on it. Whether it has to do with BMX or mental health or whatever. And
Reach the
people
flow.
love that. And I love it. So it's like a win-win. So that's been fun for me. And then also, because I don't have a typical job. Like I'm just grinding hard trying to make this happen. I've turned it into, okay, I have the mindset, this is my job. I'm going out, I'm going to film something every single day. For the most part, at least like 5 videos a week, which is it's a lot.
It's so much.
It's fucking work. And I'm doing all this on my one iPhone. I got a GoPro. I'm editing everything on my iPhone.
Wow.
So most days I film and edit and post the same day. I've been trying to get a day ahead, which I have been lately, but it's a lot. I wake up, I start filming, typically don't have a plan, and then I got to go home and I'm editing until 10, 11 p.m. and then I sit there and wait an hour for it to upload and export, whatever. So it's a lot, but hey man, if I can go out and talk to my phone and go do bar spins and
It's not
and
a bad life.
inspire kids, and already it's been 3 weeks and I have had, if you go through the comments, like multiple people, hey dude, I haven't rode bikes in 10 years, you literally got me back on my bike, or I'm in my 40s, this is my favorite YouTube channel, I'm so glad I found this.
Let's
Like,
go.
that's
Yeah.
amazing, dude. Like that's what I really want. Yes, I want to
Yeah.
make money off of it, but dude, to read that's the biggest win for me, because it's just it just feels good to, people can relate to me, they can hear me talk about how stupid I am with my drinking and all the mistakes I've made, and it's kind of just like, look at me now, like I don't have much to show for it as far as material or financial, but as far
You got
as
some stories, maybe.
I got some stories, and I'm proof that you can get really low, and now I feel I'm rich. I'm rich in my mind and heart and spirit right now. I'm much richer than I was when I had the financial freedom.
Fuck
And
yeah.
that's why I think it was like the greatest blessing, amazing thing that had to happen, was to get all that stuff and lose it all. So I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't know how to make $8,000 a month. I couldn't stretch $8,000 a month. I would blow through it all. I
Yeah.
was a kid with money, and I spent a lot of it on my friends and girlfriend and stuff, because it ain't no fun if you can't have the friends join. But like now I know how I can make $100 last a month.
Nice.
So I can, I can,
Yeah.
it's taught me so much. It's humbled me, and it's made me grateful for just having my physical and mental health. So
That is what makes you rich, is the physical health is wealth, as
dude,
they say,
because when I do make money again, now I have the more important wealth
Yeah.
locked in, and I've gone through the lows to figure out what works for me and what doesn't. I know how to handle my money and not blow it, and it's all good, and then it's all gonna come back multiplied.
Speaking of health, did you see the shit that went viral of Travis Pastrana's X-ray of his body?
Did that happen? I mean, I've seen it years ago,
Yeah.
but it's like
Might
his
have
whole
just been
body.
resurfaced from old, but I was just like, holy shit. And so actually it just popped in my head. I was like, what would yours look like? I know you had a $300,000 spine surgery that
Mm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, knock on wood. I don't even know if that's wood, but it wouldn't look that crazy. I mean, I have metal in my throat, in my neck. It's like a titanium and rubber disc, C5, C7. But other than that, it's been head injuries. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm on like my 8th set of teeth. When I did this, I shattered this bone into, like the doctor said, like over 150 pieces.
Whoa.
And then, but it was weird. It didn't hurt. Like it was just like microscopic shatter. Like, so that
Interesting.
took like 8 months to heal.
Is
But
that
I've
the one
done
at
like,
the skate park
yeah,
over the hip? Yeah.
yeah. I had, dude, yeah, I don't have any other metal in my body. I broke both my feet a couple times, some from moto, some from BMX. Lots of torn ligaments and muscles, which honestly is almost worse than breaking a bone, because they just linger and they're harder to heal. And
What's been the worst one for you guys, or for you mentally?
the spine stuff, because I didn't know I was getting cortisol injections for like 2 years. Red Bull was just hooking me up with cortisol injections, and I was basically screwing myself over because I didn't actually know what was wrong. I thought I had pinched nerves, and then I thought it was just muscles. So I was basically numbing my spine to keep riding and filming and going to contests for like 2 years.
That's what
And
the
then,
cortisol does, is numb it.
yeah, I think I don't know exactly what it does, but yeah, they put a needle like this big straight into my spine.
Whew.
And like, that's like how I think like football players, they get them in their knees all the time. And like, but by the time I saw the doctor, because it was like going on 2 years of constant up and down, I'd be good for a month and then I can't turn my head left or right. And he was like, dude, you needed full blown surgery like a year ago.
Damn.
So that was the worst because it just kept lingering and I just couldn't get, it felt like I couldn't catch a break. And obviously, long term, the worst has been the head injuries because that sent me down a path of mental health issues, sent me down a path of alcohol, certain things like that.
Bite your tongue on the D word.
What?
He said alcohol.
Oh no, I was gonna say drinking. I'm open about that. I I've dabbled, like I think everybody has, but I never.
But that wasn't never the main problem.
No, none of, like, I wouldn't even say even remotely a problem. I never like alcohol is my drug of choice.
Yeah,
100%.
It's pretty fun.
I saw somebody comment that on something the other day. They're like, dude's hit his head too much and unfortunately fell into the hard stuff. And I was like, what hard stuff? Alcohol? I'm like, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. Yeah,
alcohol might as well be the hard stuff.
It is
the hell of a drug.
Also, because it's so easily accessible, it makes it even worse.
Yeah,
and it's accepted. Like, people are alcoholics and they don't admit it because it's just like a socially accepted thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, the injuries. Like when I crashed at Texas Toast, I broke my orbital socket and cheekbone. I don't know if many people know that.
2013.
I don't even know when that was, but the one where I snapped my frame in half off the satellite dish. But yeah, other than that, it was mostly head injuries, and then the big one was the spine surgery. And
how long were you out from spine surgery?
I can't remember exactly, but I woke up from surgery and I could move my neck better than I could before. Right out of surgery, I was good. The only healing time or process was the plates. They have spikes on the top and bottom, and they got to work their way into your discs above and below. So it's just the disc or the plates basically becoming a part of your spine. But I think it was like
the therapy for that. Are you bouncing on a trampoline to get your fucking?
Nah, it was just like 3 to 6 months, I think, of just like. So what I had to do when the doctor who did the surgery, he pretty much like, how are you? I think I was 21 or 22 at the time when I got it. He's like, you're so young. Like, how did you do this? And he watched videos of me riding, and pretty much as soon as he saw like 10 seconds of me riding, jumping off a roof or something. So like every time I would land, my neck was going like that, just wink, bink over. Yeah. And I did that, imagine thousands and thousands of times. And not everybody, like, I mean, you watch other people, some people, they're more stiff. So I had to relearn, like, I started working with a trainer and was like working on these muscles. And then I started like focusing on keeping my head more just like locked in.
Interesting.
Like, yeah. It was weird, like riding bowls, because you're doing a lot of like looking up. Bowls were really hard to ride for a while because of just being in that position. Motion. So I started to kind of I don't think about it at all anymore. I probably do this again all the time, but he said like it'll be stronger than it was before. More than likely it'll never happen again. And if it does, the plates won't move. You can go back in there and replace the rubber. So I'm like a car part.
You're a little robot.
Interchangeable now, which is really actually crazy to think we're in that time.
Yeah. It's kind of like you talking about that. I've noticed when I do supine twists. You know what supine twists are? You lay on your back and you put your knees over to one side and then twist.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a back side stretch.
I thought you were
One
talking about
side-
like a trick or something.
Nah, yeah, I'm really good at supine twists. I dated a yogi, so I got to learn all the savasana, so all the fucking Sanskrit names. I don't think supine twist is a Sanskrit name. Anyway, I noticed that one side is way tighter than the other side, and it coincides with like the way that I spin. So I spin to the left, and so my left. It's crazy
It
how
makes sense.
you don't think about doing something repetitive on your bike is going to affect you outside of your bike for the rest of your life, especially when you're young. It's like I don't give a shit. I just want to do
Yeah, that's how I was. Just didn't care till it matters, and you're like, damn it. I wish I was like took it seriously, the yoga and the stretching, and I still like have an issue with. I get too excited and just want to go ride and not stretch. But
You got to do it before and after. But
ready? I'm
yeah.
gonna break my sobriety right here.
Oh
For
yeah.
the camera. I'm just kidding.
Right, fuck it.
This is my go-to, dude.
Little
Dr.
oh, yeah.
Pepper Zeros. I'm dude, like an straight addict. Like I'm drinking water, black coffee, and Dr. Pepper Zero is
That's a good lifestyle right there. Same here. Water. I mean, when I'm on a good streak. Yesterday, I just threw away like the leftover whiskey and vodka that I had from my little birthday celebrations.
damn. I don't think I've ever to this day thrown it out. I definitely would finish it all first and then call it.
It's like, all right, let's start tomorrow.
Dude, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna finish it, dude. It's just sitting there looking at me.
I swear to God, same here, but I didn't realize that I had them until today when I was happy to.
Oh, dude. That's okay. Maybe I have then. Like, if I see, that's the thing. Once I'm sober, I don't care. I can go to bars, hang out. Like, I'll drink non-alcoholic Coronas or Heinekens. Like, I can compare how good it feels to right now to be at this point in my life and remember how shit it was even just two months ago. And I'm like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
So I just got to remind myself of it.
That's real. God damn, it's real, man.
Excuse me.
It's refreshing to talk to you because I talk to normal friends about it, and they just don't understand the addictive nature.
For sure, I'm sure. I don't know how many of your podcasts of bike riders you've got on here that you end up talking about that type of stuff with. So
a good amount, and
I've
yeah.
Well, I guess I mean it's part of our for sure. For sure.
I just had flashbacks because like early on, I think I've said it, but I was doing Xanax, and I remember taking a break from my interview with like Reed Stark, and then hitting some Xanax, and coming back and carrying on with the pod. And I can see it when I look at old clips. I'm like, fuck.
You can see the change in you.
See how zanned out I was.
Yeah,
dude. Like
crazy,
pretending like everything's all good. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, sober's the best. You got to do it. Let's do fucking questions from the folks.
Oh yeah, cool.
We'll go in order. Felito, Michigan homie.
Oh yeah.
What's your most memorable moment while working on the Michigan video?
This must be because it just came to mind. This isn't what I would typically say, but I cannot remember whose house or apartment, but Corey could probably answer this one. This is probably one of the first trips we took for the video. We stayed at someone's house, and I was only 16, 17. Yeah, this is pre-Red Bull, so we got hammered. And at that point, I didn't drink at all. Like, I never started drinking really until after I was like in my 20s. But I do remember he might even see this, whoever his apartment was, and I apologize, but we ended up going to a hotel that night, but I went in the bathroom and filled his sink up to the top with throw up. Never said anything. And I believe I puked I puked in the corner of the bathroom and took the freaking bath rug and just put it over it. Didn't say anything because I was embarrassed and like a kid, and we just left. And I remember like Corey got a text the next day like, dude, who the fuck ruined my bathroom and didn't say anything? But Sorry to that.
God, the smell of walking into the bathroom in the morning and it's just
Next day, the
Yeah.
sink was filled. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then it also was on the floor. But
$4.
other than that, obviously, I would say the first and last clips, like the roll in on the fountain. I don't understand why I would ever try that. I've seen it many times since, and you couldn't pay me to try that again.
Yeah.
I don't know how I held on because it's an uphill landing.
Mm-hmm.
And
What does
then
your head do? This to do that? Or that?
I don't even know. My whole body like collapsed into my
Yeah.
bike on that one. But the bar ice, little do maybe people don't know this. I might have talked about it. That's the last clip, or not the last clip, the second to last clip.
Yeah.
I think it's an 18 or something.
You said 19 on Unclicked.
19, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you guys figure out whether it was the biggest one ever?
I don't know, but that's my first bar ice outside of a skate park.
Gravity assisted riding.
Yes, 100% perfect example. I'm like, oh, I can do this at TRP down the miniature 4-stair. Like, I know it's just a bar spin. I ended up icing it like 10 times in a row.
Wow.
Which should have been a clip in itself.
For real.
I just kept icing it, and then so that was cool. That was memorable. And to this day, I mean, I definitely haven't done one bigger. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
those are pretty good memories.
Those two, yeah.
That makes me think. My own question. We'll come back to the homies. What rail tricks do you see that like get you stoked or inspired? Like I think Sean did ice to bar down Hollywood High.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Sean
Way
is
crazier than bar to ice.
100%. It's not even in the same league of like, if you can bar spin a stair set, you can bar ice a stair set. It's just the only thing that's stopping you from doing a bar ice is you.
Yeah.
There's really no difference, and that's just the reality of it. It's a bar spin, but you're just doing it next to the, like, on top of the rail and let your peg hit it.
Yeah. Versus doing it out of it. Where
Dude,
it's like,
it's even like I was doing them the other day on like a little skate park, like steep skate park rail, and it is the timing and precision you have to pop early and not loop, or it's just, that's unreal. But Sean, him also being like one of the few doing legit hanger bars down a rail as well.
Yeah.
I remember him doing that at a do tour in Chicago, like when they did those rail jams. Like, he's freaking insane, dude. But I'm not a big grinder guy. Like, I like to do weird setups, gap to grinds, big stuff, but I don't know. I'm not into I'm just not good at it. Like the hard threes, all that. I can do it, but I choose not to.
Era.
Unreal.
Yeah,
I love
dude.
it. I love to see it, but it's just not for me.
Yeah,
But
I love to watch it, and I can appreciate just how insane it is. Because like there's like, he's one person on the planet that could pegs hard three. Well, there's 5 maybe, but fucking nuts, dude.
Him, Dan,
I also think like the BMX learning curve is so much higher than most every other sport. You know what I mean? Like it takes like a year of riding to just be able to do a bunny hop 3 versus some people pick up some other sports way quicker.
Yeah, well, like with the gravity assisted thing, it definitely takes, like a skateboarder, it's like there's a lot more. You got to have upper body strength. I think that's why the gap between men and women in BMX is so much further than pretty much any other sport. We're just built different. Like, men are, got to be careful where I say that.
That's awfully bigoted of you to say.
We're all this. Men and women are equal, same.
I thought it was just.
Man, watch, my DMs are gonna blow up after saying that one too.
Yeah, that was fun. What was the backlash to that post?
We don't even need to get into that.
Right.
Let's just put it this way: I dropped 2,000 followers in 24 hours.
That's not a bad ratio. That's all right.
Whatever. I've lost like 60,000 in 1 year and then gained 80 the next. So
yeah,
it happens. I don't want to. The one thing we're not going to do is get political on this one. It's just not worth it. Even my mom texted me or called me. She's like, "You're entitled to your opinion, but like, what's the point?" I'm like, I know, what is the point? Honestly, it was not that deep for me. And little do people know, they're getting so upset, but I'm sitting there like behind my phone because I got two extremes, both ends of the parties of like agree and disagree. And then now I'm not even involved in these conversations
It's just
after like the
comments
first
still
hour.
happening.
It's
Yeah.
just people going at it, and I'm just sitting there being so entertained. But yeah,
Anyway,
happy
Pride Month is gay, dude. Let's move on.
oh god. Well, happy Men's Mental Health Month is what I'll say. And I love everybody. I truly do. And no hate coming from me. It's all love. Anyways, that shit
Me,
makes
dude,
it.
I love everybody. I just don't like the gays.
Oh man, you're
Kidding.
ridiculous.
All right. Felito also says, "What's up with all the crop tops?"
Oh, dude, it's Pride Month.
Yeah, gotta support the team.
There's my support, dude. Nah, man, it's funny. A lot of people, I have gotten so many like messages. I don't know. I like to follow fashion trends too.
Yeah,
It's
I
fun.
just started embracing baggier jeans. That feels
Yeah,
cool.
I was like I didn't do the baggy forever. Now I'm wearing like, dude, these freaking shorts. Oh, you can't see right now. They're huge. They're basically like capris. But I like the crop tops. My ex actually, she was like worked for Brixton and was very like in the just
That thing.
up with the trends, and she cropped one of my shirts, and then I just started to like it, and I like it.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I respect it. Dude,
Honestly, there's certain.
I'm rocking a mullet and baggy jeans now. So
Oh, dude, you're right there. You're right there with the trends.
yeah.
There are certain things though that I do. This is so random, but like I've had benefits from the crop top. One being my foam roller. My shirt doesn't roll up in it anymore.
That is
So
nice.
the foam roller. I have one specific shirt I wear every day that I surf in, just so I don't like get this crazy rash. And it's a crop top. If they're too big, they're annoying. So surf shirt, freaking, I don't know.
Shit
Chicks
works.
like it, dudes like it. You'd be
You know?
surprised at how many gay dudes are in my DMs and hitting on me in person.
That feels good.
It's right.
I
What
love
is it? Theo Vaughn? He's talking to
Yeah.
Joe Rogan. He's like, you ever just like a gay dude will just like hit on you and you just like go with it just to like feel good?
Yeah.
I'm like, honestly, low key, not gonna lie, I've been hit on for sure and just kind of entertained it.
It's the best.
Whatever. Yeah.
You just don't have sex with them, and then that's cool.
Yeah, do what you want. Not for me.
Kiko. Well, I guess we'll get to Kiko's. Kiko wants advice for the young, hungry kids, which we'll get to. Mason Gideon. Do you know who he is from?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
OP. What is St. Louis?
He actually sent me a DM right before this. He's like, "Hey, I left you a question. Hopefully you get to it."
Hell
So.
yeah. Yeah, Mason's cool. What's been your biggest motivation lately, and do your inspirations change?
My biggest motivation lately has just been it all kind of, it's like I feel like I'm being repetitive what I say, but it's the truth. It's just recognizing how good I feel when I'm doing good, and like just the pure stoke on life, even like that doesn't have anything to do with bikes. That's my motivation. I just want to do good. I want to make myself proud. I want to set myself up to be in a good position, like, financially. I want to keep going down the physical, mental positivity train for myself, because it just makes everything better and easier in life. And I don't want to have to like, my mom and dad, like, they're my biggest fans and supporters, but I scare the shit out of them, especially when I'm like going down a dark, sad drinking path. Like, I don't want to hear my mom cry ever again, like other than tears of joy. So like, that's a big motivation, is just to do right as a human as a whole, focus more on, being just positive and loving, and not that I don't see myself as a negative person at all, but you know, we all have our issues. But yeah, just overall, I just the motivation is feeling good. It feels good to feel good
Yeah.
because it's life doesn't feel worth living when you're in such low points.
Yeah.
Like you can get, I've been in really, really dark places where I've done some things or some questionable decisions, like, and just not wanting to be here on earth anymore. And it's crazy to think about that and to even say that, because if like, if I could put how I feel into like a physical form and you could see it compared to that, it's like, how could I ever, you think like, how could I ever be like that? Like, I'm so happy and I have so much fun. I don't have shit to show for it, like as far as money and material, but like, I'm so happy. My
Yeah.
life's great. I can't complain. Um, but yeah, and what was the second part of his question?
Like, does your inspiration change?
Oh, well, yeah, because when I was, you know, in my teens, my inspiration was my favorite riders, and you know, and just like I wanted to be like them. And I even had that mentality like all the way up into like my early 20s. Like I still look up to, so I look up to, it's funny, I look up to kids that are way younger than me now, almost more. But
Like riding wise, you mean?
yeah, like
Yeah.
riding wise. But now I have like a bit of a different mentality, and I'm inspired by other real life things now.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing people do good, like people that I know. I like seeing like I love a good comeback story. You know, I feel like I'm a good example, like I'm trying to be a good example of a comeback story. And
Yeah, you're like writing the first or second chapter of your comeback story right now.
100%. Yeah, I'm I feel that's probably my biggest motivation right now and inspiration is because like I've done it once and I know I can do it again. And like, I don't know what it's going to look like this time. Probably not going to get sponsored by Red Bull, but like, you know, having that feeling of like, I'm like right there. I feel that way. Maybe I'm not. Maybe no one's looking at me and no one gives a fuck about me, but I don't really care because I feel good and I feel the best I've ever felt in my bike. And I know where I'm going to go with things. And that's all
Yeah.
that matters. So that feeling of being like, I'm right there, I'm on the cusp of something happening and I don't know what it is exactly, whether it's YouTube or riding for a company. I'm working on my own thing, the Heartbreak Vacation thing. I don't want to get really too into that, but that's set in motion. Um, so yeah, being like this close to having that like internal feeling of like, oh, so it's finally there.
Just
It
keep
feels
pushing.
good. Yeah, putting
Yeah.
in the work, waking up every day, being consistent. That's the consistency feels good. And seeing, even if it's tiny little wins, like for me, a tiny win is, you know, just riding every day and filming a video for YouTube or staying
Yeah.
sober or going to a meeting or helping. I love doing what I can with what I have. That's kind of been like my motto lately. It's like I don't have much, but I do what I can with what I have. And I try and help everybody as much as I can. And I think my contribution right now is like doing stuff like this, the YouTube, responding to everyone's questions, doing the Q&As, being as real as possible, talking about the highs and lows. That's what I can give right now. So that
Yeah.
feels good.
It's refreshing and honest and transparent. So
That's,
I'm
dude,
fucking rooting for you.
yes, that's all. I think a lot of people, most I would say, only post the good parts and their
Yeah.
life looks like a fucking fairy tale through social media. And we all know that's not true. So I try and I don't ever want to come off as a pity party. Poor me, oh my life, this, that. No, I don't care. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for handouts. If you want to send me some, sure. Won't say no. But I'm not asking for that shit. I don't care. I just like to be real and I'm trying to like break the mold as far as like my life ain't perfect. I had it all, I lost it all, but watch me do it again. Like
Yeah.
and do it with a way better mindset, way more happy, positive, and then try and help the next generation or anybody for that matter.
Big time. Dude, we should make a video together.
I'm down.
Let's see. So Mason's third question. What's the best electric trimmer for buzzing heads?
Oh, dude.
You a wall guy?
Honestly, whichever one, whatever girl I'm talking to at the time has under her sink.
Nice.
No, that sounds bad. No, but like when I was home, I was having my grandma do it. Here, my chick does it. I don't know. I just go to Walmart and get whatever. It's nice to go get it done by somebody though. But I just do it myself and then have someone get the back.
Nice.
I need a freaking Manscaped. I DM'd you guys. If you ever see this, hook a brother up, man.
Yeah. We got followers. Come on.
You know what's funny is they when they first blew up, they sent anybody and everybody something. But I've had long hair for 15 years. I didn't care.
Now you buzzcut guy.
Yeah.
I did that with I realized that it's nothing like a fancy buzzer's. I gave Trip, my dog, a haircut, and I bought these special clippers, and then I like looked at them side by side with my regular ass clippers, and I was like, this is the exact same thing. It's just marketed for dogs. Ridiculous. So you don't need anything fancy. Just chop your hair off, Mason.
Yeah.
Brandon Hebert says, next Bethune sesh, let's get some steaks going or some good. I should have read this. It's not a question. Let's get some steaks going and some good tacos. I'll bring the grill.
I'm down. I'm at Bethune almost every single night.
Shout out,
at least day. That's like the closest park to me from here.
Nice. Let's see. Maybe we talked about this, but Mark Wheeler asks, scariest moment / trick you've ever done.
Yeah,
right?
we talked about that. Yeah.
And then he also says, if you could go back in time and change any moves, what would you change and why?
Does he mean moves like, well, you would know. If he's talking about, is that a physically moving to new places or money moves? Or
I don't know.
I would definitely change some money moves. There's definitely some girls I would have never ever started talking to. But I mean, at the end of the day, those are just life lessons.
Ooh, that reminds me. I wrote it down even. I didn't write down that many. But when I was listening to your Unclicked, I was like, you can't just breeze over the fact that you partied with supermodels. And it was like a regular thing. I want one supermodel story.
I mean, probably stuff I shouldn't say on here. You're gonna ask me later.
Yeah, fair.
But there was a point in time where I was hanging out with Dennis's neighbor, who's a retired NFL player, and I'm a kid who at that point I wasn't even 21, but I was just a cute kid that these late 20, early 30 models really liked, put it that way, and they're all made of money. So, and I'm over here like kind of doing good, but in reality to their level, I'm like not even comparable, and I'm trying to keep up with them. Like, yeah, it was fun times for sure.
I'm sure the pressure of like, all right, we're all gonna get this and pay for this. Are you in? And you're like, yeah, of course I'm in. I have so much money.
I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, I guess occasionally, but couldn't keep up. I was the DD before I was 21. I would take them to drop them off at the clubs downtown San Diego, go back to the mansion, hang out there by myself, and play on my weight. And then they all show up like 100+ people, or they left like 5 of them, come back like 100 people.
Wow.
And like this was like a house where they're like rooms have themes, and there's like it's like sex rooms and just like crazy stuff that I didn't even really like. I never like lived in LA or anything. I'm sure that's like normal up there, and especially when you got money and stuff, but things that I never even knew were like normal. But
wild. It's actually insane to think about. Like I compare that to like partying in Tempe in a 2-bed house, and it's just like there's no comparing. Fucking this place has sex rooms.
Oh yeah, it's it's crazy. I actually I brought my mom over there. She flew into town. Actually, when I got my spine surgery, she was flying in so she could like drive me home, take care of me for a few days after. But I brought her over there one night, and it was just supposed to be a chill night. And like within 10 minutes, she's sitting down, meeting everybody. And my mom is also like, she looks really young, like for the longest time. Like people assume that we're a couple when we go out. But like, so obviously everybody there didn't know she's my mom. But like within 10 minutes, she's like, a tray of, here you go, you want some? Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, she's like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm just like, oh my God.
She looks
my
over at you
mom's-
like, this is where you're hanging out, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That was like
Yeah.
her first, like, straight from the airport. I picked her up from the airport. We went to the party. And I thought that'd be a good idea. It was fun. My mom's a trooper, and you know she's cool. But she's like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, "Ah,
Yeah, not a good look.
yeah,
Your new friend's hot, Tyler.
right."
Our boy
Okay.
Connor Keating.
Hey,
Yeah, we answered his question, but shout out Connor. Favorite memory from filming the Michigan video. I really like the puke story. You don't get to hear that every day.
yeah,
And then I think me and Wergowski went on and on about Tyler stories. We had a whole segment.
yeah. I love that. That was cool.
Oh, this is a good one. Hard Copy BMX Archive. Shout out to him. He says top 3 favorite DVDs.
Oh
Or in this
man,
case,
putting
like,
me on the
full-length
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard because like honestly, when I first like got into BMX, it was already like
Out. Oh yeah. So we'll be back. He has to charge his phone. While he charges up a little bit, let me tell you about this DVD. Mediocre at Best 2. It's a real thing. Getting stickers to put in them. There's only 50 copies. I haven't figured out exactly how I'm doing it, but I'm sure it'll be apparent. Link in the description and stuff. Get yourself a copy if you like DVDs. Physical media. All right, back to waiting for Tyler. We'll be back with Tyler. And we're back.
Yeah, we're back. But yeah, so we were just talking offline, not recording. But I like understand because I get messages all the time from kids or not even kids, older guys, like, dude, it's crazy you don't ride for anybody. And like part of me thinks that too, in a way, but at the same time, it doesn't surprise me because I'm an adult now and I can look at things. This is my thoughts. I think why. If you're looking at it from a business standpoint, especially with how openly public I've been about my issues, I'm essentially a flight risk.
Yeah, your liability.
You know, like people aren't going to want to sign a contract. You know, I'm not riding for companies for free. Like I'm not on flow teams. So I know like brands are like, you know, they know that I used to get paid well. So I'm sure they don't want to come at me with some they'd just rather not offer at all type of thing. And because I've heard that from Garrett, even like there was talks of me being on Fiend and he was like, I can't offer you a Haro blah, blah, blah. But I'm not even like that. I'm like, I'm not asking for some crazy check, but they're worried about signing a contract with me. And then maybe I fall off and start drinking. And then I don't go on a trip or I don't produce footage for a part or whatever. So I think that's kind of what it's been. And so I'm kind of in this weird period where like, yeah, obviously my writing speaks for itself. Like, and I have a big following and like some freaking diehard like Tyler fans that have been around forever who would probably buy a frame if I had one. But so I'm in this weird period of just kind of like proving that I'm not going to disappear.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had my 6 months here when I was in Long Beach and I was going fucking hard. Like, and it seemed like I was talking to Kink for a minute. That's who they still send me stuff if I ask, but like that was a possibility. And then I did fall off again. So I totally understand the hesitation with brands, but we'll see. Time will tell. And at the end of the day, all I can do is I'm going to do this either way. You know?
Yeah. You have to prove it to yourself more than
this is my therapy. Riding's my therapy. It's what makes me stoked to get up. It's the thing that I'm best at, and it ain't going to stop, paycheck or not. I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to do it as if it's my last day riding, or I am getting paid X amount of money from somebody. Like that ain't changing.
Yeah. Well, you don't half-ass anything.
Yeah, all or nothing, including the drinking.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not half-assing it. We're gonna push
Balls to
it.
the wall, baby.
Yeah.
Man, I'm like kind of sad that our paths never crossed and I never got to party with you. That would have been a good time.
Yeah, it for sure. It would have been fun, but honestly, we'll have good times without that.
Yeah.
I'm learning ways to get that same rush without ruining things in the process.
Yeah, some of the most fun people they refrain, but they have fun. They can let loose.
Yeah. Well, most people who have fun sober were gnarly drinkers, and they are
Yeah.
sober for a reason, not just because
Yeah.
they don't like it.
Yeah. It's interesting that kind of unrelated, but it's hard for me to not trust. I hold people who have their monster under control on a higher level in my mind than somebody who's just kind of never done anything bad and is just too good, you know? Like I like people
For
with a little bit of
sure.
flaws that
For sure.
push
That's
through it.
why I love the AA meetings, because pretty much anything I think I've done that's crazy, this 70-year-old dude is like outdone me by 1,000, and it's a complete judgment-free zone. And like even like my chick, like she drinks like maybe, I don't know, maybe once or twice a month, if that. But like, so she doesn't understand, and most people don't understand the addict mindset. And she's open to it, like coming to meetings with me, like wanting to understand it. So people don't get that. Like even my mom, super supportive, but like for her to see me fuck up and be drinking, it's just like in her head, she's like, just stop. Like, why are you, don't do this. Like, look how your life's so good without it. Why would you do this? She don't get it. My dad, whole other story. He's, had a entire life of fuck ups, and usually due to alcohol. He's had 3 DUIs. He's, been to jail multiple times, but he's the greatest human ever and has the craziest stories to go with it. But he understands. Like when I got down here and I was like, I was bad. I was drinking a lot. He's like, there's nobody else I would in the whole world rather be around than him, because there's no judgment. He gets it. He's been there, and he's like,
Yeah.
we'll get through this, dude. We'll get through this. You're gonna be
Yeah.
good. Because he's solid now. Like he don't have any issues. But
Ain't
so
that some
yeah.
shit, dude? Yeah, I agree. All right. Caesar has a good one. Caesar Martinez, 2311. What advice would you give to someone who loves BMX and is always fighting social anxiety?
That's hard, because I mean, everybody has their own ways to avoid and this and that. And I think like I was saying earlier, using that confidence that you have in BMX, like even if you're not like the craziest rider, you still are doing something that less than 0.1% of the entire planet can do, and or has the confidence to do. And just try and like relate that, use that same mentality in your, look at a social setting as like trying something scary. I've been doing that lately. This is actually something I wanted to bring up. I was thinking of earlier, is like I've been intentionally, because that's the way your brain is wired to be safe, right? That's
Yeah.
where the anxiety, why you have anxiety, because you want to escape the perceived danger that's around you, even if there's not it. So I've been intentionally putting myself through these like training exercises in a way of just like going to do the thing that I don't want to do, as far as like with the social settings and stuff, or forcing myself to, you know, look someone in their eyes when they're talking to me, because it's much easier to like,
Yeah.
or look at my phone. Just do those little things, and then that like trains your brain to, okay,
You're like
it is
gamifying it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is okay to do. Oh, you're fine, you're safe. So you just gotta like try and treat the rest of your life like trying a new trick. In the back of your head that it's possible and you can do it. So prove to yourself you can, and then get that shit done.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
I want to add to it. The one thing that like made a breakthrough for me, and it's still always a work in progress, but I get socially anxious. And the problem is you're in your head. And so if you can decide to get out of your head and just focus on the well-being of others and be genuinely curious about how everybody else is doing, you forget about yourself, and then you're not worried
sure.
about that social anxiety. Because then it just
Yes.
compounds. You think about it, and then you're like, why am I thinking about it? And then it's just a nightmare. So it's just like, start thinking about the other people and how they feel, because you can imagine some people you're talking to are hiding their social anxiety too. We're all
course. We're all, yes, that is exactly it. Like the perception and perspective, like you and I could be sitting in the same room and I'm over here like, life's great. And you look just like me, not saying anything, not doing anything, but you are living in a literal hell in between these two ears.
Yeah.
So like, and you don't know that. So just remember that, like, we're all going through our stuff, and, and like you said, focusing on others. Yes, being of service to people, helping people, that is like a life hack. When
Facts.
you just go out of your way to help someone, you make them feel good, it makes you feel good, and at the very least, maybe you didn't do shit for the day, but you put a smile on someone's face, or helped them get through something. That's why I love doing these videos and being so open and making that a huge thing about my social media presence, is because of the amount of messages I get of like, dude, I have had people tell me that my openness has stopped them from putting a gun in their mouth.
Wow.
Which is insane. That's better than any sponsorship or trick I've ever landed.
Yeah.
Because I've been there.
For
So,
real.
and so yeah,
Shoo.
heavy stuff, but it's
Yeah.
gotta be said and be talked about. And I love that people are willing to slide in my DMs and be open about that stuff with me. So I try and respond to all of them as much as I can. So
Hell yeah. Different note. Dylan Ashlock says, did you play any sports growing up? I know you did the motocross. Any team sports?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to. I only did it because my mom forced me to. She's like, my son will play a team sport. But
Which one did you pick?
I played basketball.
Swag.
But then obviously by like 6th grade, people started growing, and I stayed like 5 foot until I was like 17. Yeah, like I didn't hit a growth spurt till I was like 18, and then I hit another growth spurt like mid-20s. Not just as far as like growing up, but yeah, I didn't really. I don't really like that too much. Like, it's fun. I'll go shoot a basketball around, but yeah, I didn't really play any sports. It was moto. My dad was very on that, chasing that dream.
Dylan rides bikes. We can skip it because we talked about it, but what did it feel like dropping in on that water tower on Hart Plaza? The most talked about clip.
I mean, I can say what it feels like for everything, because some people love to ask me what goes through your mind.
Yeah, what's it feel like?
I black out. It's that switch. I turn this, whether you want to say I turn it on or turn it off, depending on how you look at it. Whatever that, when that switch is flipped, I literally don't know what happens. I either am rolling away, oh my God, what? Or I'm picking myself up off the ground.
Yeah.
And in that time period of me thinking about it and whether I landed it or not, I literally black out, and I can't tell you what goes through my mind.
Yep. I'm happy to say I've felt that a couple times in my life. Like not nearly at that level, but I talked about that a lot. It's a switch, and you see it. Like when I filmed a lot of.
Yes, I was gonna say, when you're filming someone, you can probably see. You're like, this is they're gonna go right now.
Exactly.
I could take 30 run-ups, but for some reason, even though I said right here 30 times, that this one is actually the one that there's an energy that you carry.
Yeah, like the eyes roll back or something. It's kind of like a drunk person blackouts, and that's your brain that's going like, you don't need to be here for this,
Yeah, so. Yeah. Just dissociate in case something bad happens.
Yeah, exactly. Evans Murray, how do you see your life in 10 years? Fuck, what a question.
I couldn't tell you what my life's gonna be like tomorrow. I just turned 29.
All right, that's a good transitory.
I'm getting up there. It's scary, but
I just turned 35. This is scary.
It's crazy. I just remember the other day leaving Michigan to move to San Diego full time. Like it feels like that's the shitty thing about alcohol too, is like so many things are just months
like
go by,
Etch
months
a
and
sketch.
months. Yeah, they just go by without you even really taking it in. But 10 years from now, so I'll be 30, almost 40. Honestly, like I'm sure I'll still be living by the beach. That's a huge part of my mental health, and just like other than riding and like dirt bikes and motorcycles, like surfing is probably the biggest part of my life, or just the ocean in general. That's kind
Every
of
day,
like,
every morning, huh?
yeah, pretty much. Um, so I'd like to be in a different bracket financially, that's for sure. Like that's a huge focus. I have a lot of like back taxes and like stuff that I need to get sorted. And but the irony in that is like you can't fix any of those issues. Like you can't even file bankruptcy if you want to without having money. So you're just like in a weird, so definitely money stuff. I would like to be stable with that because, like as much as I say I don't care about money, it's just you have to have it at least a little bit.
Yep.
So I'd like to be in a financially stable place, hopefully own some houses, and by 40, I don't see myself jumping off roofs as much. I'd still like to be that anomaly where I took care of myself so well over the next 10 years. I can still if I
I
want.
think you will.
Yeah. I'm good. Like when I'm on, I'm on.
Yeah.
I'm 100 or nothing. So if I can stay 100, like I take my health so seriously when I'm sober and when I'm on it. It's like it's all I care about. So
It's dope.
it'd be cool to own, maybe the heartbreak vacation thing will, like, in my mind, there's no reason why it's not going to become a thing, but that isn't really going to have anything to do with BMX. But yeah, honestly, I'm simple. I'm a simple man. I just want to be happy and have my mental health and physical health. And that's a win for me. If I can wake up, and the dream for me is to just be able to wake up and do what I want for the most part, but like
Yeah.
with structure, like I've had that period of time where I can do whatever I want and I have money, but with no structure, you end up, what's the saying? Idle hands are the devil's playground,
That's it. Yeah.
or something like that. So yeah, just having the freedom to do what I want, but keeping my life very structured and organized, and just stay on a good, healthy path. That's all I ask for in this life.
One day at a time.
Help people. Yeah, one day at a time. That's for sure.
That's why I think the 10-year question, I've never really liked that a lot. So what's your 5-year plan? It's like, it's good to have like a direction,
Yeah.
goal, but fucking,
I mean, dude, I like to live like I'm totally okay with dying. I don't care. Like there's no fear in me with dying. My bigger fear than dying is living a miserable life.
yeah.
I'd
Yep.
I'd much rather die tomorrow. I'd be okay with dying today or tomorrow, because right now, that's funny. I had that thought this morning. I was thinking, I was walking actually in from the beach right here, and I had a really good surf. My body felt good and loose. And then I was thinking about how I'm going down south to go ride and go see my chick. And I was like, I fucking made it, dude.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I could die tonight. And like, that sounds a little dramatic to say, but like, I was like, I had this rush of emotions, and I was like, this is it. This is what I wanted. This is what I worked for, was to have this feeling of mental stability, physical stability. I can ride. I can, it's just, that's it.
You're winning.
I'm winning.
You're winning, son.
Yes, I am winning right now. So take the life from me. I reached my, like, the bare minimum of just like, this is it. This is good. I'm back here. Anything else from here on out, if I can maintain this level, is just a bonus.
Yeah. Fuck. Actually, my not even selfish question. I just had like my peak human experience was the Mediocre Best 2 premiere, and I'm standing on stage and it's full 300 plus people. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's peak experience. What was your peak experience as far as like competing and maybe in a contest with like however many heads? Like what's that one moment where you're just like looking around like, holy fuck?
There's been a couple. I mean, I won a Nora Cup.
That's huge. Yeah.
A Reader's Choice Award. That was pretty insane.
Where was it?
That was in Texas. And
I think I was there.
people don't know this other than just the people that were also with me, which was, I think, Connor Keating, and a few others. I don't know. I was only 17 or 18, but I was drunk. Won a Nora Cup. We went out back behind, what's it called? Shakespeare's.
Yeah.
I'm running. Okay, so, oh my God. I don't remember if this was right after, a couple hours after, but I was drunk. I was like 17. I just start sprinting. Connor's running. We're laughing like in a freaking fantasy land. There's a car coming down an alleyway that was they had a convertible, and the convertible was down, and I ran and just jumped on the hood and jumped over the people in their car, landed on the trunk, and then kept running, got to the end of the alleyway, and there was 3 cops on horses. They jumped off, grabbed me, put me on the ground.
Damn.
They were just like, what the fuck? Basically like, what the fuck is wrong with you? We just watched you do that. They sat me and Connor down. I can't remember who else was there. Put me in handcuffs, and I was like, Connor was like, dude, I think it was Connor. He was like, he just won like Rider of the Year award. Like, so like, we're so sorry. Like, he just was on a high. Like, they asked me if I was drinking. I was like, no. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that happened right after I won a Nora Cup. So that was a good moment. I've never been too much of a contest guy, but I did get a 3rd place at Do Tour, and it was me, Dennis, and Garrett. So that's special. And I have a picture of it, and it's like, that's of course unreal, because a huge part of my riding before I was a professional was, yes, they became like my close friends, but those are the guys, my idols.
Yeah.
So it was really cool too. The one time I podiumed, I shared it with Dennis and Garrett.
That's badass.
And then I did that same year. That was the like 1 year I did the Do Tour thing. I didn't like win anything, so I don't really know how I won this, but I ended up winning Do Tour Athlete of the Year award, which was 25 grand cash.
Damn.
And it's a voting contest, and it's not just BMX. It was skate as well, and I don't know what else, if there was another discipline, but it ended up being me and Curran Caples for like the last 2 head-to-head, and I was on a flight and I landed and I saw I had a direct deposit for 25 grand.
Yes, dude.
I was like, so that was that was really cool.
That's epic.
Yeah, those are some good moments, I'd say. Of course, like getting signed by Red Bull, Haro was a dream. I was a kid, and Dennis is my hero, and I'm teammates with Dennis. And then getting a signature frame, getting on Vans. I left Osiris and got on Vans. That was amazing. So yeah, all the BMX things, I think I would say that I've accomplished all of my BMX dreams.
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying earlier that my motivation and inspiration are different things now, because I got to do, of course, there's some things I wish I would have accomplished or done better, but as far as BMX goes, I fucking did it for me.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful. Like, another reason why I could die tonight. And I'm like, I got to live out my childhood dreams already, and I'm not even 30 yet. So that inspires me to keep going, because now I'm like, I did it. So what's next?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing the BMX, and, maybe the YouTube thing will take me down maybe I'll attract millions of subscribers who don't know anything about bikes, which will bring me down this path that has nothing to do with bikes. And now I'm like in this industry, like, you got Adam LZ, who's a millionaire, do drift cars and owns a compound. Like, you never know.
BMX vlogs.
There's just there's so many, and having that, what's the word? just like optimism and like excitement for the what if, not what if this could happen in a bad way, but what if this happens in a good way, and having that optimism. So like I'm stoked on having that mentality. Just anything could happen. Your life can change overnight, because I've experienced that multiple times in good and bad ways.
Dude, I agree so hard, but I have a hard time keeping that. Like, I'll have those thoughts and be like, yeah, that's right. You should be optimistic. Something could happen good. And then,
Yeah.
the next week I'm like, fuck, yeah, everything sucks. It's hard to keep that
It's
alive.
it's almost impossible to keep that alive. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like, having gratitude for the little things.
Yes,
Like I had that moment of clarity a few weeks ago here, and I talked about it in one of my YouTube videos. I was like, this being broke honestly has been so cool in a way, because what I said specifically was, there's things I want to do in life and there's things I need to do in life. And if I had money right now, I would go do all the things I want to, or I could numb myself with going to buy things, and I would avoid the things that I need to do. So yeah, like it forced me to be grateful to have, I have my health and I have my bike. Yeah, I have $7 in my Apple Pay, and that sucks. And my phone bill's due in 2 days, but like I'm still going out. Like I have, I can eat food. I have some things that get me by. Like I still own a couple things that I can sell and whatever, but like, that ain't gonna last forever. But point being, I've learned to be grateful with absolutely nothing. So when I can, anything is a bonus. So when I do make money and accomplish more things, fuck yes. That's
you reached accidental enlightenment.
exactly. Like I was forced into it in a way.
For real. You're a monk now, dog.
Try to.
Do you meditate?
Of course.
Fuck yeah.
My throat says breathe.
Nice.
But then I also have a tattoo right here, and it says
Party.
You can't see it. No, it says I think too much.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I have a tattoo on the back of my neck too that says I've been to hell and back. It was beautiful.
Oh, that's dope. I like that a lot.
But the irony in that tattoo is, I went through this hard time. Holy fuck. I wasn't even close to where I thought I went to a low place in my life. And I think I got that when I was about 21, 22. In the last 7 years, dude, God was like, watch this.
Yeah.
You think you've been to hell? Here, watch this.
Here's 7 more levels of hell.
And I'm so grateful for it. It was awesome, because now I'm even way more mentally strong. And that's why, like, things don't really phase me that much anymore. Shit happens. I'm like, oh yeah, expected that one. Yeah, for sure. Not surprised, but okay. And then I've also proven to myself how easily I can bounce back from almost anything. So yeah, fuck it. Bring it on. That's how I feel now. Like try and maintain that mentality. Like, oh yeah, bring it on. Watch.
I could take it.
Yeah,
there's something about that, and I can lose track of that myself. If I'm on a good one, like a good routine or whatever, I'm meditating in the morning, and then no matter what happens throughout the day, it's all good, because you remember you're just alive and experiencing, surrendering. Life's happening to you, but you're in control of your breath and your feelings, and that's at the end of the day the realest shit that there is. Anyways, Rocker Guy says, "What's the best spot you have ever ride?"
Those questions are so vague and so hard to answer.
Yeah,
because like, best skate park I rode, there's probably 10 of them. I loved Rubens Park in Malaga, Spain, unreal. But then I just rode this park in Cocoa Beach the other day, and I was like, holy shit, this is like a mini version of Rubens Park. I love this. This is amazing. But then, how do you say what's the best spot? Because one of maybe my greatest feeling chick was that roof derail, but is that really a spot? Is that fun to ride? No. So that's a vague question. I can't really
let me narrow it down. What's the best ditch you've ever ridden?
Ooh.
Have you spent a lot of time in Arizona?
No, I haven't, but I'd like to. Probably probably Vegas. I honestly haven't rode too many ditches. in reality. But there was that one in Vegas that Kyle took me to. I did the caveman off it, and I did like bar to wall ride.
Yeah, that's a famous one.
Yeah.
What's it? What is like your relationship with spots? Like Dennis mentioned that you got the eye for it. Are you driving around looking for? Not driving around. Oh yeah, you got a moped. You driving around looking for spots in Daytona right now? Is that where you are?
Definitely lately. Yeah, I've been on it pretty heavy. That's another thing
Spots.
too, like with the when you're not in a good headspace, you're drinking, that's the fucking last thing on my mind.
Yeah,
I'm not looking, I don't have the BMX eye. I'm here, but I'm in here.
yeah.
Like I'm in my head. I am not looking. But yeah, lately, dude, I've been taking pictures, dropping pins. Some of the spots I have, I wish I could. They're just like most aren't even possible because I'm just looking up
Yeah.
at stuff. But yeah, I've got so this dude, fun little thing that might be like I'd love to film a video with you, but there's a local here I met actually in the water, and he's a filmer and editor, and he filmed I can't remember the dude's name. He's a pro skater. He just had a Thrasher part, but he's legit filmer and editor. And he's like, yo, I would love to film a part.
Fuck yeah.
I live right here. And I was like, yes.
Sick.
Like, cause it's like, I don't know any filmers out here. And he's like, you want to film SD or HD? Like I got
Yeah, and the fact
spots.
that you met him while surfing is a sign, dude. That's sick.
Yeah. So I told him once I'm back I'm going down south for like a week. But so I'm gonna start working on a part here soon, and maybe that'll be
Yeah.
a welcome to the team part for someone, or if not, it'll be a I'm still here part.
Sick. That's a good name. Maybe
Yeah.
it's been used still here.
Probably.
All right. Let's see. Covered.
See where I'm at. I got 14%. We're good. We're
Yeah,
at 2 hours and 18 minutes. That was a good one.
for real. Thanks for doing it.
Dude, yeah, sorry if I rambled a lot. I get like when I'm got a clear mind, I can just like I said, it feels like therapy. There's just shit that I can just start talking and talking. I like talking when I'm in a good headspace. So
Yeah. Look at
I'm
you.
glad
You're
I did this.
rambling right now.
Yeah, exactly. I noticed I do that too when I'm riding. Like in between, I'm trying something and circling. I was trying to film this line yesterday, and I'm like, I can't try something and then just keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, shut your damn mouth and just try the trick. I'm just talking about nothing, but whatever.
Beautiful. That's good for YouTube.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Cause I'm mic'd up. Like I keep the mic on when I ride
Yeah.
now. So yeah, it's cool.
Hosier Cadillac says, how long are you planning to live in Florida, and what are any future goals there? But just how long are you planning to live in Florida?
For now, indefinitely. I told my dad that a few weeks ago. It kind of like I came here with no like, okay, maybe I'll stay. I was supposed to go to Woodward West and do coaching for the summer, but I didn't get the job. So they sent me an email. It's all different now too. Like I had to do a legit Zoom call, and like they asked me, why do you think you're good for this job? And then like in my head, I'm like, well, I've been doing this a long time. I think I'd be pretty good at teaching kids. But anyway, so I thought I was gonna come here, go do that, and then would have made quite a bit of money after 3 months there, decent amount. And I was in my head, I was gonna go back to San Diego, but that fell through, and I was like, you know what? I've done San Diego for the last 12 years. I fall into the same habits, same patterns. This is a sign. Fucking don't go. If I really want to go back, it's there. I know exactly where I'll live, who I'll stay with, whatever. It was time for change. So I told my dad that, and he's like, I agree. And ever since then, in the last 2 months, it's nothing but good things have happened here. I have a solid crew. Everybody I ride with is like a working class man with a good heart and a good mind, and like almost everybody is sober too, which helps me.
Huge. Yeah.
Like not that like I have issue, I can go hang out at the bar just fine, but like, you know, so that's cool. And yeah, I wanted to move to Texas actually, which would have been fun, but Austin's a big party scene and expensive, and I don't even have to pay. I'm living with my dad, between my dad and my chick and my friend Dylan. I bounce around.
Yeah, I don't
So,
think Austin's a place to go to live a good sober life.
well, and just the fact that, like, I would say, like, dude, surfing in the ocean is almost like right there with riding for me. Like, if someone told me I could never ride again today, I would be really bummed. But at the same time, like, I have my thing. I got the ocean, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think I would have started to get a little like, probably would have ended up started drinking if I went to Austin, honestly.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I think I'll be here for the time being. I would like to buy a house here
Fuck yeah.
at some point. And yeah,
How's the weather right now? Well, if you're by the ocean, it's not that bad, right?
I've been sweating for the last 2 hours. It's just it's so muggy. It's so humid. Like,
Yeah.
I wear gloves every day when I ride now. I bring
Yeah.
three pairs of gloves to the park
Wow.
because I have to rotate them. I don't know if that's just a me thing.
I think it is because I lived in Orlando. Well, no, it's not just
it's
a you
pretty
thing. The
brutal.
sweat is real. I spent a summer there working for Sparky's and fucking misery.
Can you still see me?
Can't see you.
Or
I can.
okay,
I can
hold
hear
on.
you, though.
The dude who's driving me south just tried calling me. I'm just sending him a text right now.
Okay. I'm gonna pause. Yeah, Florida's humid and hot and sweaty. You know what I'm saying?
I like it though
still.
because I'm burning off all the. When I was back in Michigan for winter, I was drinking and put on. I get that. I turn into like a skinny fat guy.
Yeah.
Like I got the little gut going, so I'm finally getting the summer beach bod back. Just, dude, I must burn like 4,000 calories a day when I'm between surfing and riding all day. Like I got to rotate
Healthy ass
shirts
life.
and yeah, I love it.
Did you ever see a picture of me at my big fattest? I was
Mhm.
pushing 300 pounds at one point. Fucking nuts. That's
Yeah.
what drinking does.
Yeah, and I
Right.
like beer too, so
Yeah, it's delicious.
it is.
So it's been a while since I've done this podcast, but I think I'd like to know your advice for young, hungry kids out there that are starting to ride BMX and they want to get sponsored by Red Bull someday.
Yeah. It's a good question. That one's hard too because, like, you know, times have changed a lot
Yeah.
as far as like the social media thing and like the opportunities with how you can be a nobody and not even really, like, let's say your skills aren't even at the top level with riding, but you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars off YouTube, or you know, with maybe you're an attractive person and you dress well, and but you also ride bikes and you can be a model, or like,
Yeah.
it's really hard to say with all the social media. But in my experience, I never forced anything. It was just, there was no forcing. Of course I wanted to be a professional bike rider in the back of my head, but I wasn't like, I wasn't asking people, how do I get sponsored? How do I do this? It was like, I studied BMX so. I think that's just how you become amazing at anything. You have to obsess.
Yeah.
You're either obsessed with something or you're not. It's the definition of insanity is, I think it's like doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result.
Yeah. But
And expecting
a different
something
result.
different. And that's basically like the mentality you have to have, like with riding and crashing and trying lines and whatever. Like, that's just how I was. I'm an insane person, and I can't stop. I don't allow myself to drink water once I start a clip. I have this weird thing. I won't drink water until I land it or crash out and give up. But
That's interesting.
I don't know why. I got some weird OCD things,
You
but
want to suffer.
yeah, like I gotta suffer. I gotta earn that shit.
Yeah.
But I think just, you know, you're either gonna be obsessed enough to make it happen, and that goes for anything, BMX or not. It takes, that's how you become the elite or the 1%. You're not just gonna be paid professional at something just by I mean, there's small, you know, things that happen for some people where they make money off things. But yeah, basically be obsessed. You either got it or you don't. But you know, be a good person. I think BMX is also such a small industry in reality in the grand scheme, and there's not really much money to go around. It's not the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
I was very lucky and blessed. So, and I've witnessed this firsthand. Like, if you're not a good person and you suck to be on trips with, or you can't share a hotel room or be in the van with people for 10 days, it kind of doesn't matter how good of a rider you are.
Yeah.
Like, there's, you know, we're just not, it's not big enough. I think you can get away with that in like surfing and stuff. You can be a freaking dickhead, and but if you're winning, you're winning. Or, you know, if you're yeah, it's
Don't
either
be a prima donna.
yeah, either be a good person and be good at riding, or you're gonna have to be undeniably the best in the world to where
Yeah.
you're allowed to be a dick. But that's good luck with that in BMX.
Which is funny because, like, I think it's until I met him, it's not like I heard bad things about Garrett, but in my head, since he's so good, I was like, he must be a dick. And then
Oh,
you meet him, and he's just the fucking best human being.
he's
I'm
the
like,
best.
God
If
damn.
anything, he's just like if you don't know him, he's just quiet. He's shy.
Yeah.
I think like he's kind low key, like he keeps to himself. And I
Same with
think
fucking Dennis, dude. I'm like, where does he get off being this great on all fronts? And then it's
Dennis is a fucker though. Like, I love him, but that's my big brother forever. It will be. He's a funny dude. He's
seems like it. Hearing him talk about
wild,
the
man.
financial stuff, I was like, damn, and he's in control of his finances too. That's
He
good for
was, yeah, he's really smart. Like, he's been driving the same Tacoma forever. He could have bought 10 of them, you know, and
yeah.
he thankfully he had always had agents and like good parents. I mean, I don't want to speak on his behalf, but from what I know, you know, he's done things right, and if you're a kid, that's a good person to look up to.
Fuck yeah.
Obviously, you know, if you look.
We're here. Technical
Can you hear
difficulty.
me?
Maybe receiving a phone call. Yeah,
It was
hit
an
it.
Amber Alert.
Oh shit.
Amber Alert. It went off last night too. The TV freaking scared the shit out of me. But
Yeah,
they're
Dennis-
saying, oh yeah, Dennis is a great person to look up to, and if you want to look up to me, I'm good to look up to because I didn't do the right things, so you can learn from me in that way.
yeah.
I did some right things, but I chose some wrong things too. So
You know what you and Dennis both are doing that would be good advice for a young hungry kid is start YouTube. Like, you have to learn how to film and edit now. There's no more
Yes.
waiting for a filmer to invite you on a trip. Like, you're it, and
Yeah.
go do it, and then collaborate with the local homies and make
Yeah.
your own shit, you know?
Start it now. I did that thing for I've been doing it for over 10 years. Like, 2 years will go by and be like, dang, I wish I started YouTube 2 years ago. And then 5 years go by and I'm like, damn it, I wish I started 5 years ago. And I keep doing that, and I don't know what the hell happened 3 weeks ago, but I was like,
Now's the time.
I'm doing it. I'm starting a video, and I'm committing to, and I said it in like one of my first videos, I'm committing to a video every single day, no matter what, until I get monetized. And then I'll focus more on, you know, 3 times a week, quality over,
Nice.
you know, yeah. So
So it only took you 3 weeks to reach the monetization threshold.
that was very surprising for sure. It obviously helps
Yeah, because
having
it's intimidating when you first look at it. You're like, wait, how many?
4,000 viewing hours. You
Yeah.
need 1,000 subscribers. Because I had a YouTube before, and like when I was in Oregon, but like I was just posting random stuff, and I think I made it to like 700 or something. But yeah, it's been sweet. So that's what I'm focused on now.
Fuck
Right
yeah.
now.
Very good. We talked about your proudest, best moments. The most scared you've ever been is something I'm curious about. One fearful moment, BMX related.
Actually, 2 days ago, one of the photographers from the Silver Dome video tagged me in a photo, and you would only know this, I think, through the Unclick podcast. I think that's when I talked about it, but there's one clip that I didn't do. There was a roof to rail.
Yeah.
I actually screenshotted. I was gonna post it, but that's the one that got away. I can't really off the top of my head think of almost anything that I've not at least tried. And
Yeah.
I couldn't get myself to do it. And I sat up there. I don't know if it was the pressure of the cameras and it was dark and I'm in a stadium. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. So I was definitely, I cried. I had an emotional breakdown because I was so upset. And I think I had that adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
It was so heavy. I worked up so hard. I was yelling. I wanted to do it so bad and I just didn't do it. And I remember getting off the roof and then off the second roof because it was a roof to rail and then a nollie bar off another roof right after. And I just I remember walking away and who was there? Oh, I was thinking it was Luke Seal and I was like crying. I just no shame in that. That's how passionate and obsessed I am.
Yeah.
I was literally in tears and I was apologizing to filmers. I'm sorry I couldn't try it. But I think it was a blessing in disguise because I still hadn't done the truck out of the window. That was the last thing. Though it was that clip and then the truck the next day. So, but yeah, not to sound douchey, but I just don't really get too scared. It's there, but the switch, you just flip it off.
You got the switch, man. I'll tell you that.
I've accepted the reality. I kind of accept my fate. I know I can do it and I'm either going to land it or I'm not.
Yeah.
So.
All right. The hardest question. I saw you struggle with top 3, but Mount Rushmore. Who's your
I love this.
Your personal Mount Rushmore.
It is such the most impossible thing to talk about because well, I'm just going to put Dennis there no matter what. That was, I would say I can say without a doubt, he was always the most influential. Before I answer the next two, I want to say this. Mikey Tyra has always been my best friend since I was 12 years old. So that's my brother, absolute brother. But we were I used to I'd call, I'm the next Dennis and he would be the next Garrett because Mikey was a way more tech than me. And so we would just call ourselves Dennis and Garrett. Funny random little fact, but it's very cute, but that's how we saw ourselves. But yeah, Dennis has always been the most had the biggest influence on me. And I keep wanting to say Devin Smiley.
Checks out.
And then probably Pat Casey.
Okay.
Because Devin, yes, I do a lot of big stuff, but you see, I'd love manual lines and backwards manual stuff. I think I'm pretty good at that. So that's been a big inspiration. And then I had, growing up, I was I had a heavy park phase. And actually, when I went to that Woodward school, I only did 1 year there, but for all the kids that went there, they would try their best for your birthday, they would fly out or get your favorite pro to come for your birthday for the day, and they got Pat to come out. So the first time I met Pat, I was 14 and he flew out, drove up. He was only 17. He wasn't even he had to have his older sister come with him.
Wow.
And it was the coolest day I rode with Pat, and it was the craziest thing because I hope Chase hears this, his wife, but that was right when right after they had started dating or something, and he was just talking, we were totally broing down, telling me the ins, I met this girl, she's older than me, and I love her, but I don't know. I think maybe they're going through a little rocky patch or something. I can't remember the specifics. It was 15 years ago now, but
yeah, but you're just my hero's talking to me about
my hero, and we're sitting there talking about relationships. Pat Casey's talking to me about his wife Chase, before they had kids, before they were married. And so that was a heavy moment for sure. And and then shortly after that, I started staying with him and Chase in Riverside. And so, yeah, Devin's one of my closest friends in BMX for sure.
He's a tech god.
That's a brother to me, him. And yeah, he's always been there for me. He's one of the few people who will and has always reached out to me when things aren't going so well. He'll check up on me and he don't judge me. That's
Yeah.
and I love
That's a
all
good
three of
heart.
those guys a lot. So
You guys met through Mr. Carlson, huh?
Devin,
Yeah.
yeah, I went to that Mike Spinner play contest that he had in his backyard, and I met Devin there. I think that was the first time I met Devin. I could be wrong, but I did pretty well at that contest, and then that's when
Hey, you want to ride for Osiris?
yes, yeah. Kyle was like, "Would you want to ride for Osiris?" And Devin was sitting right there, and he's like, "Hell yeah!"
Hell yeah.
So I became teammates. I think that's the only time I was teammates with Devin. Not that we ever did no trips or anything. Osiris was it's calling it a sponsor is kind of a stretch.
Yeah, you want free shoes every once in a while?
Free shoes, yeah, and but yeah. So Dennis, Devin, and Pat, I'd say. But then
You need one more.
to go. Oh, it's 4.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Dang. I thought I was in the clear. I was gonna just start listing off a bunch of them that I love, but it's hard not to say Garrett, but I don't want to say that because everybody, the whole world is inspired and looked up to Garrett, and he's had one of the greatest impacts on BMX. So
Prolific.
yeah, so he's got enough love. He's got Rushmore, too many Rushmores. Honestly, dude, Hucker has been, because of my dumbass mentality of just loving to try and huck it. Like, I was just obsessed with anybody who is willing to risk their life for the entertainment of others and themselves. It was always, I love Travis Pastrana. He's a freaking psycho.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hucker, and I rode for Redline. That was my first big sponsor. Yep. So I've gone on many trips with Hucker between Redline, Demolition, and Vans. I've shared rooms with him. He's just a good human all around, and he's pressured me into some of the dumbest things ever.
That's great.
I think I said it on Unclicked. He took a shit in my shower.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's a pretty legendary guy.
He made me, he actually forced me to kiss a stripper's ass here in Florida.
Like that?
We were on a demolition trip, and it rained almost the whole trip. So we just ended up as a team, kept going to strip clubs at like noon. Nice. The dirtiest, sketchiest clubs. I think I was only 19 too, so they weren't even like full nude or anything, but like it's like middle of the day, we're eating like chicken fingers inside. Yeah. Like just a scene out of a movie. But I remember he was teaching us all how to throw stripper darts with the quarter and the dollar and the chapstick.
What?
You know what that is? That's a Hucker thing. Yeah, you take a quarter and you take a dollar, you lay a quarter in the middle of it, and then you twist the dollar around it. So it's like a flat dart, and then you take chapstick and rub it on the end of the flat part, and you can throw them.
And it sticks
with consent. Otherwise, you get kicked out, because that's happened.
That's the first thing I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, they'll let you when you're throwing. That's a classic Hucker trick right there, stripper darts.
That's pretty great.
But yeah, I had a girl bent over, one of the dancers bent over in front of me, and he's like, "Kiss her ass," and like grabbed the back of my head and literally smashed it into some strippers.
At a boy?
We'll call her a dancer's cheeks. Somewhere here in Florida, I can't remember where, but.
Yeah, I wonder how she's doing.
Right. But so yeah, that's my Mount Rushmore: Dennis, Devin, Pat, Hucker. And I could name a bunch more quickly. I would say the way that I've developed my riding, I've always tried to take the little pieces of everybody that I love and blend it into my own. So you'd be crazy if you didn't say Chase Hawk and Mike Aiken as far as
Yeah.
just pure, just God-given flow and talent and style. Like you can't learn that.
Yeah.
Can't go to Woodward and learn how to ride like them.
You can try.
You can try.
He's gonna laugh.
I've tried to do my biggest moto whip into a foam pit before, ran
Nice.
backwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Nathan is a god. I could have easily put him on Rushmore. He's even comparing him to like with Garrett and stuff, he has his own
Yeah.
ridiculously crazy style, fearlessness, humble, just
Yeah.
Nathan he will be a god forever to me. Yeah, it's hard even when you start your brain. I'm like, just every rider that I've ever witnessed is
Yeah.
there in my mind. But yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's it. Good
I think
shit.
that was good. Yeah, almost 3 hours.
Thank you for doing it. Anything you want to plug, I guess? YouTube channel. We'll put the description to
Yeah,
your
it's
YouTube,
just
so subscribe.
it was a Heartbreak Vacation, but I switched it to my name, so now I have enough subscribers and stuff. If you search my name, it comes right up. And yeah, I'm putting out videos almost every day of the week. I've skipped today because I was doing this, but day's not over, so who knows?
True.
But yeah, I'm go check out Mended. The Instagram's The Mended. That's the owner, Malcolm. He's been like pretty much my biggest supporter, and
Yep.
just like he's helped me out with money, and just that's a really awesome company. And I've got some things in the works with them. I think I'm gonna do a Heartbreak Vacation / Mended collab
Sick.
glove that might be coming out here soon. Well, it should be. Albies, thank you forever. Like I wouldn't be at where I'm at all. Albies was my first sponsor, and
Yeah.
Flip got me on Redline, and all the Michigan boys. And yeah, I would like to just thank BMX. I appreciate. I've been around for a pretty long time now. Like it's crazy to think.
It's
like,
weird. You're a veteran now.
Like I'm getting
Yeah.
to that age now where I'm like I've been around, and unfortunately I've made some decisions that I kind of disappeared there for a bit, but I've always been here, and I'm grateful. Like I've had the most awesome life because of it. All the highs and lows are because of BMX. So all the companies that have ever supported me, all the people, all the fans, and all around the world, like it's been fucking amazing, and I wouldn't change it for anything. And I feel like I'm just getting started. So all I can say is thank you for the support. If I ever did you dirty, which I don't think I have, I'm sorry, and I love you, and stay tuned. So I got some good things planned, and hopefully I can make some people proud and excited again. So
We're all rooting for you.
yeah.
Imagine having just take it all away and just go work a 9 to 5 that you don't care about for the fuck that. All right.
Yeah.
And on
Like-
that, we out of here, huh?
Yeah. Thank you, dude. Seriously. Thank you. That was fun.
Thank you too. You don't go 3 hours without enjoying it,
No, of course. Yeah. And I apologize if I was rambling, but that was good. Thanks for the therapy session.
Yeah, you're made for podcasts.
Right? Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please, if you're into DVDs, purchase a Mediocre at Best 2. It's only the thing I'm most proud of in my entire life. And I'll see you next week.